Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. We finally have a stable connection. We are live from Midland, Texas, in Western Texas, in the middle of nowhere, on the other side of the planet. And hopefully, in around 30 minutes, we will see 30 minutes to an hour. We say we will see the launch of.
An hour or an hour and a half.
Okay, an hour and a half. We will see the launch of the VES rocket. So I'm joined here by Andrea,
Hi everyone.
Nicolò, and Matteo, and well, I'm Fabio. So during this 1 hour 30 minutes to 1 hour and 30 minutes, we will talk a bit about the VES rocket, about PoliTo rocket team, about what's going on here, and about this competition in general. Also, you can see on the top right we have the official competition live streaming, so we can see some nice footage. I would start with you, Andrea. So Andrea is the head of the aerodynamics department of Project VES, so our competition rocket of this rocket. Andrea, could you tell us a bit about these past few days? What has been going on? All the travels, all the experience.
Yeah, we started with a nice road trip to get the crate with our equipment from you in Los Angeles. We arrived here in Texas and we were nice and ready. We encountered some issues as always,
Yeah.
but we managed to solve them in a pretty fast and efficient way, I would say. So we were really relaxed and calm this morning. Now excitement is rising, and of course you never know when you launch a rocket. There are a lot of stuff that can go wrong. We did our best and we have no regrets, so we hope everything goes smoothly.
We hope it. We had a bit of trouble with the only thing that was not our responsibility, which was the motor, right?
Yeah, we are launching with a very big commercial of the shelf solid motor. So you're supposed to buy the motor from the top part and to keep it sealed, to keep all the gas in. Usually you have some retaining rings with some threads. You mount them on and it's chill. But for this motor, they had a strange idea to use epoxy resin instead of a retaining ring. And actually, the epoxy that we received was not very good. We left it out there for 3 days and it was not curing at all, not hardening. So yesterday we made a decision that was also approved by Irec, the provider of the motor, to just scrape all the epoxy out and replace it with some epoxy that we found on our own. And we are pretty confident with that solution, also because we have other ways of retaining the motor with our own 3D printed flanges. We are pretty confident. The judges approved this solution and the resin seems to be cured, nice and solid. And we'll see. We have seen multiple teams today flying with the same motor having issues and going ballistic.
Yeah, it seems a dangerous motor. So
Yeah, we hope to be the first one today to actually be successful in the flight with that motor.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Nickname Killer of the Rocket.
Yeah.
Rocket killer. Rocket killer. Yeah. So hopefully the rocket will stay. Let's say.
Yeah. Also, I would like to add big thanks to the RS rocketry team from Melbourne for providing us the Starlink connection. And yeah, that's what is allowing us to stream from here in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
They were lifesavers.
Very kind.
Yeah. So going through, since you're the head of the aerodynamics department, I guess that there has been a big change compared to the previous rocket of the team.
Yeah.
What would you say, like in terms of aerodynamics or in terms of?
Yeah, it has been quite a good change since we are switching flight regime. We flew the same rocket at the European competition, Irec, in October, but it was not flying in a supersonic regime. Now we're reaching Mach 1.61. That means we are 1.61 times faster than the speed of sound here. And so that's quite a challenge. We had to replace the fins. We had composite 3D printed fins. We decided to switch them with metal fins to avoid them melting, because we reach very high temperatures on the nose tip and on the leading edge of the fins. And also we had some issues with managing the stability of this rocket, because since it's so long and so big to house this big and powerful motor that is 1.5 meters long, the center of gravity shifts and moves a lot during the flight. So we want the fins to make the rocket stable, shifting the center of pressure on the bottom part of the rocket, but not too much. Otherwise, during the flight, when all the propellant burns and the center of gravity moves upwards, the rocket becomes very overstable. That means that it will easily adapt to the direction of the wind, and so that's not good, because we will have the rocket flying basically horizontally, and we don't want that. And so it was hard to have a nice trade-off, managing the stability and also managing the regulations of the competition.
Yeah, no, that's definitely definitely a big challenge. I mean, we've seen I would say a dozen flights today, and some of them really were really overstable. I mean, they went completely horizontal into the direction of wind, and that's something that we do not want.
Yeah, actually, we are really here hoping for the wind not to pick up speed.
Yeah.
The weather was perfect this morning. Just some issues with cloud coverage that scrubbed a couple of launches, but really nice wind. And now it seems to be picking up a little bit, so we hope we manage to put the rocket onto the launch rail and launch it as fast as we can, because usually here in Texas the wind picks up during the afternoon, and it's quite windy in the evening.
Yeah,
so
we've seen. I mean, in the past days, we've seen. When was it? 2 days ago.
Yeah,
really a big storm.
A crazy storm.
And an alert.
Strong winds.
Yeah.
Also a lot of rain.
Yeah, and it also destroyed some of the launch site here, some of the tents.
Yeah, actually, just also to tell our spectators some things about how these days went. Yesterday the launches were delayed, and only 20 teams were allowed to come here and actually launch, because the sandstorm that we had on Tuesday, I think, basically destroyed and took away some of the tents that they have here. And so since it's very hot here and teams cannot stay in the range if they don't have something to hide under, Ezra, the organizers, decide to introduce this rule and just invite some teams. We were invited today with other 60 teams approximately, and we are hoping to launch soon. Yeah,
it's a really big competition with how many teams this year? 160?
And 170 applied, and now we are here in 145 teams.
145
approximately.
That's still a lot. The team competed 2 years ago, and I think we were 120 2 years ago, and so it's really a big number of launches to do in just 3 to 4 days. It's really crowded. The launch site is also pretty crowded. We're under big tents, but yeah, there's still a lot of traffic. So there should be launches pretty soon, also from our friends from Rome. I would listen to what the official competition is saying, and then maybe we could switch and talk with another department of the team. So let's see what Ezra is saying.
It was because their fuel sensor was playing up, maybe in the heat, maybe due to transport loading, unexpected vibrations getting here, could be a little bit busted. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to them overnight about what their fix is. They're spooling up to go again. But we're actually waiting for Rice University at the moment. Team 800, shout out as well.
Yep. So we will get you an update when we know it. We've thankfully got a radio with us this time. Normally we were waiting on other things.
2, 3.
So I'm not really sure exactly what their challenge is here with the filling. They are filling currently.
Hybrid LCO.
And we're just about to hear something over the radio.
We can't get the temperature or the pressure we need, so we're going to dump, and then we're going to put a different bottle on there, but that will be about an hour and a half situation. So you can
just getting some radio through.
And we'll go back down when our dump is.
Okay, so Rice haven't been able to get their oxidizer up to the pressure that they need. Possibly a challenge with the heat. In fact, they might be getting it down to the pressure they need rather than up. So the heat is pushing that nitrous up the saturation curve, and so they are dumping the hybrids because it has
They're not
not
dumping
been
the
able to get the
hybrids, they're
pressure.
dumping the fuel out
The
and they're
fuel,
going to
sorry,
start again. Yeah, yeah.
they are venting the oxidizer from the oxidizer tank on board Rice, and so it's going to be about an hour and a half before Rice can go again. They need to change the bottle out. Now they've put it all onto their rocket, and now they've had to release it all to the atmosphere. And
It's heartbreaking. We saw
it's like
University
pouring,
of Sydney doing that yesterday, and they literally got a countdown. Got to
Let's mute the other guys. So we're back with Matteo. Also news, our guys are going to the launch pad right now.
Probably they're launching in half an hour.
Yeah,
probably.
Hopefully half an hour, right?
We start the.
Yeah.
I don't know how many launches in the single.
I think it's around a dozen launches per batch.
So,
yeah. So Matteo.
Yep.
So PoliTo rocket team is a pretty big team. I think more than 140 students. Here we're just 12. So
we are just 12, but we represent all the team together because, of course, because of the lots of expenditure, it was not possible to bring everyone. But this does not. It's important to underline all the effort of all the team that in every single part helped to and do a lot of stuff to make this possible. And so thanks to everybody is home to make it possible.
And by the way, how are these 100 people organized?
In this moment, it's a moment of changing for the team because we are switching from 2 projects separated to one single project and dividing in 2 departments. At the moment, we have Project BESS that is here, ready to launch and ready to finish its journey.
Yeah.
And Project Festo that is currently under some concerns about our university for safety reasons. But we are currently trying to develop our first liquid rocket engine.
Yeah.
Exactly. In the future, from September, October, we will implement the departments. So we will have probably propulsion, of course, structures, electronics, aerodynamics, something is still present since this year, and it will be challenging to change the organization and to implement the two projects together. But we are pretty confident that we will manage it efficiently. Let's say.
And this project VES has been ongoing for how many years?
2 years.
2 years.
We attended the first competition in Irec last October, but we were also applied to participate at Spaceport, that is now Irec, last year. But we had some problems with purchasing and logistic stuff, and so we gave up this competition last year, and we decided to attend the 2 competitions into different years.
Yeah.
And let's say differently from Cavour that you know better than me, that was first in June and then in October in both the competition. It was difficult, I think, to manage all this.
Yeah, I think this project also is much more complex, so it takes more time, and of course when you have to buy and purchase all those components, and then you have to manufacture them, and you start getting delays over delays, so it definitely takes time.
Yeah, of course. It is also difficult to design, develop, test, and manufacture and buy, of course, all the stuff in one single year. So probably in the future we will try to, let's say, slow down a bit and let's focus more on preparation and to go to the competition when we are really ready to and test it with the product, with the prototype, let's say.
Yeah. But I mean, you can tell us this will be the last flight of us.
Probably yes.
The last flight
I think so. If it will go ballistic, of course.
Yeah.
If we will.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. But if we will recover, let's say, we can do, for example, an event. We can launch it. It's difficult to organize the launch in Italy.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated.
It's pretty complicated. The only launch site is in Roccaraso,
Uh-huh.
but you can launch only up to 1 kilometers. Because in Italy the limit for the launch is 3 kilometers, but Roccaraso is 2 kilometer site. So
Yeah. I mean, we tried to launch it from Sardinia at the military base, but the military was not so compliant. Let's say they were not super helpful.
No.
But yeah, so there's gonna be a few launches coming up.
Yeah, we can.
I think. Let's see. I think yeah. Let's see the. So they're still in the pads. They're still mounting the rockets.
Aspetta, fammi dire anche dei sponsor.
But in the meanwhile, then we go back to the launches. In the meanwhile, yes, we have to mention all the support that we received.
Yeah, all the sponsors that are supporting us. It wouldn't be the same without them. For example, the fins that Andrea was talking before are provided by Sofia Tech. That is a really important sponsor for us, and that is supporting us a lot and represent a real value for our team. We had also the opportunity to invite them to the last years. That is the annual congress organized by students team of rocketry in Italy, in which they did a brief speech about what they do, how they do, and how they support us.
Yeah.
And it is very important to underline their support.
Yeah, so you can see them scrolling here in the bottom right. Of course, special mention to our university.
So university, Politecnico di Torino, that supports us and make it possible for us to be here.
Yeah. Otherwise, they will kill us.
Probably yes. And we will. I hope we will make them proud of us and represent at our best Italy, Piedmont, and Politecnico di Torino, of course.
Yeah. I mean, this is the fourth competition of the team. Yeah. Second in the US. We did 2 in Europe, and this is the second in the US. And we were still the only team, the Italian team to be in the US, but then we were joined by our friends from Rome, which are right here, and they will probably launch right now. So maybe we could also interview one of them and
it would be nice.
Hear about what they say.
Okay.
And, okay, so we'll go back to the Ezra feed, and let's hear if they will launch a few rockets soon, and then we will go back to our live stream. Okay, here's your man.
Around to your left to give us a wave.
He is working diligently, as the whole team. We cannot thank them enough for all their support for the live stream that they give us every year, and we're really grateful that they get to come out and do this. And I think they have a bit of fun getting to play around with rocket launchers, capturing them and training up their team as well. So it looks like we're going to have another camera angle that we're going to be able to cut to at some point soon once he's got that fixed up there.
I'm not sure if it's a camera or an antenna.
Difficult to tell. I'd go with some kind of connection that they're going to. Again, we're looking at the teams. That's the 502 team that we're looking at right now, which is that University Laval that we talked about before at the 2 stage. So hopefully we can get them taken off soon. You were saying earlier they were having issues with connecting to their telemetry, their GPS. So hopefully they can get that set up soon and they can launch very, very soon. We are waiting on that right now. I know while that was going on, your radio was also beeping away at you. I'd guess that's the solids area, is it?
Yeah, we're looking at solids right now.
I can see 142, that's the team from Turkey that's been waiting to launch this morning. 163, that looks like, oh goodness me. Universidad Nacional de Asunción. There you go, that's my really bad attempt to try and do.
Better than I could muster.
Yeah, a terrible accent. Let's have a look. What else can we see there? Teams, is that 309 that we're looking at? Purdue University? I think that might well be Purdue University we're seeing on screen as well. So they are currently out of the pads, which is why we're not able to launch. Once those teams are all set up and ready to go, we will be bringing you as many launches as we can in quick succession. We apologise, unfortunately, when it comes to rocketry and we've got this many holds. So how the teams deal with that, how they deal with the setbacks is just as important with how they deal with X radio as it's going off next to me, because you never know what kind of updates we could hear. We're also getting a bit of a wind situation here. We've had a few dust devils come through, and for those that aren't used to the southwest region in particular, we do get a lot of dust devils around here. That's like a little mini land tornado. I've watched a couple of the student teams get very excited about seeing dust devils, but they can cause a little bit of damage as they come through. So we're keeping an eye on those as well. As we get hotter during the day, and it is now, I don't even know what time of day it is. Let's have a quick look at my cell phone. It's 11:30 a.m., so we've not hit peak time of heat yet, which is quite crazy to think out loud. We are going to get even hotter and hotter still. Currently right now, the temperatures are climbing up. We're going to be getting up to about 100 and something degrees today. 103 I think was what I saw was going to be the highs for today. So we'll see what comes of this. There's nothing worse than finding an email come up on your system from Logan that says, Alice, here is the remix of your voice. Apparently somebody has turned my voice into a remix. We'll see if we can end up getting that to you later. I'm sorry is all I can say. Apparently if you've got an English accent and you wear glasses, people assume you know what you're talking about, which is how I end up doing this for as long as I have. And somebody's just decided to lean onto that. So apparently some of the students are excited to hear my voice. It's because I've been around for so long. They were so used to me being the PIO at the old spaceport before I left there, and then Ezra convinced me to keep coming back and helping out. And I said to them, do you know what, I don't mind sitting in front of a camera if you want me to. And for some reason they keep inviting me back every year.
You do it so well, Alice.
Is that what it is? I do it so well. Who knows? Apparently I'm just very good at making stuff up as I go along and talking out loud, and that's a skill that apparently you need in rocketry. So we'll see what's going on. Again, looking over at the teams in the spectator area, I see some of them monitoring wind conditions. We need a couple of wind socks if we come back here next year. Something to observe.
we've got plenty of devices feeding us info to the launch control officer, but yeah,
visually just always makes it. Yeah, it's always nice to be able to see.
There's some flags I've seen over on the tent area.
Good
it's a bit of national pride from the various international teams, a bit of university pride from the local universities. So they've actually been quite helpful to me standing on the LCO Connex.
Yeah, I bet. So I overheard you talking to Andy earlier. We've had to make the call on Tuesday evening, very, very late Tuesday evening, because we were hit by a haboob, a dust storm that came in, to have to invite the teams to come out in waves. And the reason for that is because we don't have enough structure for them to work under to keep them out of this really ridiculously hot sun right now. So we invited 20 to arrive yesterday morning at 8 a.m. Another 20 followed afterwards. We had 40 altogether yesterday. How have we approached it today? Do you know?
So this morning we invited, I think it was 50 or 60 additional teams for a 5 a.m. start. We had the flight readiness review queue open from 5 a.m. And there was a little bit of a queue driving in, which might have felt familiar to some from previous years, but I think it was handled fairly well. We had teams moving in fairly quickly. And then my discussion with Andy just before was to unleash the flood.
Yeah.
So really important. I'll just shout out Iowa State for a super chat. But really important to those teams coming in. And a shout out to the ones that have already done it. If you're able to get your hands on some kind of shade, tent, marquee, whatever, head down to Walmart, bring that. It'll be squishy in the tent. So we expect some teams to be out on recovery and have recovered, and that'll clear up some space in the tents. But if you can get your hands on a marquee.
Let's stop the other guy yapping. Okay, we are back.
We're live.
We're live. I'm here with Christian.
Great. Thanks, Fabio.
The president of PoliTo team.
It's a pleasure.
I think. Well, first of all, I think we have a bunch of team members watching the live stream. So I think if you want to say your team and
thank you everyone for watching, at least supporting, for working for the team. It's been a pleasure. we hope we will see the result of the hard work soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
I will stay here very briefly because I have to go back to the other guys, to the launch pad.
Okay, so you're going to the launch pad right now?
Yeah, the rocket is cleared for launch. It's still in the tent. We're awaiting confirmation for transporting it to the launch pad.
Okay.
We'll grab it, put it on the pickup, and then drive it to the launch pad.
Okay, is it already on the truck?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
It's still on the tent, but we got clearance, so we're close.
So we're good to go.
We're good to go, yeah.
So as soon as they tell us to put it into the truck, we put it into the truck, then we go into the launch pads. So I guess after all these launches.
Yeah.
Because there are already, so we're not in this batch,
We are
we're
in the next
one.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And the team from Rome is on this batch.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're launching with this round, and then we're on the next.
Okay. Do you know how many rockets are in this batch?
Not sure. At least the launch rails are, I would say, around 20.
20. Okay.
So I would assume around the same number for of rockets. So
now we wait for 20 launches, and then we go.
that's my supposition. Might be more, might be less, but
so probably it will be at least at least 30-40 minutes still.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. You have some more time, or?
But at least until I get called back. Potentially, yeah, sure.
So in the meanwhile, I think you can say a few words about I don't know, about your experience in the team over the years, about what has been going on.
Of course.
I think
So
you have a lot to say.
yeah, I could say plenty. I could talk for hours. First of all, I would say thank you, Fabio, for coming up with the idea. For those of you who don't know, he came up with the original idea. He came to me and a couple other friends and suggested us we could found a team, and then here we are with more than 140 members. It's been 3 very wonderful years. We've achieved a lot of success, even though sometimes other agents kind of moved against us in some occasions, but for the most parts we managed pretty successfully. Yeah. I'm trying not to be emotional, but great moment. We've slept like probably 1 hour each, so it's been a long day already.
Probably the entire team here, 12 people, have slept like 8 hours.
Potentially,
combined.
Combined. Yeah. So, okay, I'm getting called back on the radio, so I'll have to go.
Okay, so
see you later.
Yeah, keep us updated about the situation.
Of course, and see you all back in Turin, and have fun watching the launch.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
For giving us this area to be able to use for this event. I'm seeing a few vehicles driving around outside. Do you know how vast this area is that we're working on?
Well, we're in Texas.
No, I didn't mean the state of Texas.
Vast.
Everything's vast. Everything's bigger in Texas. There is a reason that's the state slogan. But I meant this whole area that we're operating on. I'll have to grab Steve. I see Steve Taylor wandering around next to me.
It's dangerous to walk over.
If you walk nearby, Steve, I'm going to ask you a question.
He's just
Come
wandering
sit for a
into
second.
shot even.
Do you know the acreage of what we're operating on out here?
I can say that the roads here are 1 square mile.
Okay.
And right now we're using half of a square mile.
Okay, we are back. We are back already. With Edoardo Viglietti, Chief Engineer of Project VES. So Edoardo, thank you for being here. And if you can tell us a bit about, I don't know how much time you have. Probably a short, like a short description of the VES rocket in general.
Yeah, sure. So VES rocket, you maybe know if you're a part of the team, but if you're not, it's been a project of 2 years.
Oh wait, sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. So I was telling that Project VES is been a project of 2 years. So the first iteration was a 3-kilometer launch made at the European Rocketry Challenge in Portugal. And we already achieved pretty good results, but that wasn't the final objective of the project. we wanted to achieve the supersonic speeds. We wanted to achieve the 9-kilometer apogee, and so also break the Italian record on that apogee. And so that's why I continued another year. And the first year was full of drawbacks, also because we didn't have the motor availability, but also with all the different stuff that happened with budget caps and all that stuff. But we are here and we are back in USA. That's really really amazing. After 2 years, we're back here and seeing the legacy that Rocket Cavour brought 2 years ago. So
Yeah, yeah. How does it feel compared to the European competition, this American competition? What do you think?
So I will say pretty American. So that the organization surely is not that structured, but it's also one of the reasons why they can bring so many teams to launch.
Yeah.
If we have a competition with those rules like in Irec, surely you cannot bring 100 teams in the launch pad. So that's also one of the reasons I say.
Yeah. It's quantity over quality
Yeah.
sometimes. Sometimes. I mean, not always, but
Yeah, pretty
definitely
American.
with so many teams. Yeah. It gets complicated.
So
Okay. And also, you were telling us about this apogee record. So you were aiming for the Italian record of apogee.
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah, for what we know, there are no rockets that's try to go to the 9 kilometers apogee that were made for Italian students and Italian in general. Also because when we used rocket launch rockets, we used like the San Marco platforms, and they were all American based with NASA scientists on the back. So that's one of the reasons also that's pushing us in this objective.
Yeah. So as far as we know, we can say that for students,
Yeah, for students.
the record is still around 3 kilometers.
Yeah.
And not 9. Maybe a bit more. Not super sure.
But surely there is also all the things that we are now we have the knowledge of, trying to also build and design a rocket that is going supersonic. It brought to this team a lot of knowledge, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's also the first supersonic flight. It will be the first supersonic flight of any rocket in the PoliTo rocket team. So
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Also a lot of data to analyze and a lot of things to learn for sure.
Yeah, and one thing sure is that is a rocket that's full of strut system, so student research and developed. So for example, the ejection system, some parts of the avionics system. We have a flight computer entirely made by our students, and a telemetry entirely made by our students that will fly on this rocket. So surely, even in any case that this launch will go, we will have some results.
Yeah.
We will have the knowledge.
Yeah, definitely a lot of validation on all these systems that you have developed.
Yeah.
Over these 2 years.
So, I'm sorry. Yeah, we all have to go.
Thank you for coming.
No, thank you.
And keep us updated.
Yeah,
see you-
sure.
see you around.
Ciao.
But we're hoping to see, we think we've had about 40 rocket launches so far out of the 143 teams that are here. Obviously, you're telling me that there's possibly 19 that are set up to go again.
Yeah.
That's incredible. We could possibly have 60 then by
I'm
the next
thinking
hour.
that we'll get after this one. If we get 2 more, we're going to be doing
2 more salvos.
The weather is perfect.
It is. It's getting
Unless you're a
hotter.
hybrid team.
Yeah,
Unless
the
you're a
hybrids are
hybrid
having a
team.
tough time over
Shout
there.
out hybrids.
Yeah,
Keep chugging on.
Keep the faith.
Yeah,
Keep-
the problem
keep
is
it going.
the nitrous is fickle, and you've got to keep it at a specific temperature.
Yeah.
And if it's not all sorts of bad, not bad things from a CATO standpoint, but bad
No.
things from being able to launch. So.
I know. We keep watching those hybrid teams. Yesterday we had the University of Sydney having to call it off at the scrub of 1 second to go. Today we had Rice ready to go, and they made the decision last minute to have to off gas as well. So we are hoping those hybrids are still working hard, and anything we can do to help support you, just come over and find a blue shirt. We'll do what we can within reason. Obviously we can't go no extra help, but I mean, like, and I can't do anything about the weather. I wish I could. I really do.
Well, weather's beautiful. Right now, listen, we need this weather tomorrow, and we also need this weather on Saturday.
What time do you have the range until on Saturday?
Well, the range is going to be closed at noon.
At noon.
But in order to have the judges and the content to the judges, that that piece you can still launch after 10, but the cutoff to be back from recovery is 10 o'clock.
Oh, right. So
because they need the data so that they can do the scoring so that we can have an award ceremony on Saturday night. So again, and that one's again not a lot of leniency. We have, and it's unfortunate you have to make some tough decisions that are, you know, you hate to do it because of the heart and soul that gets put into these projects. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So at any rate, get your rockets in early, get your recovery in early, and this way you won't have any worries.
I believe we've got one of our key supporters of this event with Matt right now. Matt, you're going to be speaking to Landbridge, I believe.
That's right. Thanks, Alice. We are here in the interview booth with George Boyce from Landbridge. Landbridge is our key land partner. George, can you tell us what you do here and how Landbridge is involved in this competition?
Yeah, sure. My name's George Boyce. I'm the Ranch Compliance Manager for Landbridge, and we're just really happy to have something this cool out in this part of West Texas. It's not every day that you have this many people that are so excited and passionate.
Okay, we are back here. Another interview now with Michele Rossetto, called for the Friends Lipstick.
Yeah.
Head of electronic department of Project BESS. So
Exactly.
Eduardo mentioned this student research and developed electronics and flight computer. So I mean, tell us a bit about this. Like, what are the main features?
Yeah, like,
how did you do it? What does it do?
Yeah, so since the starting of the project BESS, we started developing a SRAD flight computer, and then we also found the need to develop also a telemetry board in order to send the data of the flight computer. There are a lot of data, and also for other functions, like this year we will try to implement a video telemetry.
Yeah.
So also for that purpose.
It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, so and also to send the GPS data, so we can retrieve the rocket after during the recovery phase. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
In real time.
Yeah, recovery. Yeah, like real time telemetry and everything. Yeah. So
So how is the flight computer? What is it composed of?
yeah, the flight computer has different components, and it gathers like altitude data and acceleration data, so we can know at which point of the flight are we really, because when the rocket is so high you cannot see it no more, and you want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
Also because we worked a lot on that, we want to make sure that everything works fine, and also maybe if it doesn't go like that, we want to know what's happening and the rocket has done. So that's the purpose of the telemetry, also to see live data from the rocket.
Yeah.
The flight computer, we developed it in 2 years. We tested it already in Europe, but we had some fixes to do, so we developed another one, and we did a lot of work, both from hardware parts, so developing the physical boards, and from the firmware section. Like, finally, we have a firmware that's working. Like in Europe, we had some problems with that, but now everything is fixed. And also for the telemetry board, because in Europe, for example, so in October, for the guys maybe that doesn't know that, we went to Europe, and we didn't have a real telemetry SRAD made by us. Now we have a functioning telemetry, also an app for that, so we can see in real time through our laptops the data.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So you built an entire software to then visualize this data in real time.
We are very happy of the point we've reached. We already know that we can improve a lot, but we are happy for this competition.
Okay. And also we will be able to see the video from inside the rocket.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, we'll try to make the best out of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because a problem for the video is also the temperature.
Right.
Since it's so hot in here, we'll see. We'll see if it works. I think.
Yeah, it might overheat.
Yeah, it might overheat. Yeah.
Hopefully it won't. But
yeah, maybe guys at home don't know that it's hot here.
Yeah, it's very hot.
Like the live stream is standing under the shade, but
yeah, we're under the shadows, but it's we're still sweating.
Yeah. So now I also have to go to the launch ramp to activate the switches for the.
Thank you for coming.
Avionics.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And,
See you later.
It starts combusting, you won't go very far. So that's the thing. And sometimes you actually, I've seen it. If it's too hot, you won't be able to literally won't be able to load.
Yeah.
So that's a problem we have here. So that means all your lines, or your tank has to be cooled. All the lines have to be insulated. And then when it goes into the vehicle, you want to weigh it to make certain that when you're loading it, you're actually loading liquid mass. You're not loading a gaseous mass. And I've seen that before. It happens. People have loaded gaseous masses, and they sort of don't know the difference, and they shoot and
fall straight back down.
Yep.
So we're waiting. The good news is, Rick, we are waiting on a lot of launches. We are red.
Yes,
everywhere.
we have a huge number of rockets already set up.
19 set
19. That's
in the
great.
Solid rocket
That's
motor
great.
area, which means we could potentially have 19 back-to-back liftoffs if everything goes to plan. We are also looking at Red Range over towards the two-stage area. I think there was a university there that was having connection issues with GPS, so we had to make sure that they're locked in for that, because that's really important that they can figure out what's going on with that. The hybrid area, I'm looking to see if we can see any flags up.
We see a red flag.
We
Seems to be a lot of people at the hybrid
I
area.
see a green flag.
It's green at the hybrid. Okay.
Yeah.
So that means
So
they're still
Tuesday-
working on it.
We're just waiting to find out what's going on with that one. Range.
Okay, now there's a solids pad. They're all under red, and the rockets already. The people look like, have they pulled back yet? I think, yeah. Oh, right there, the people are pulling back. So it looks like the hybrids, or the solid pads could be launching very soon.
We're waiting. It sounds like we've got a student team on standby from Paraguay, which would be really great to be able to speak to them, because it's the first time Paraguay are actually launching at this competition. So it's always great to hear from the student teams that have come out for the first time, get their idea of what the experience is like for them. So once we've got that one ready, we'll go and pass over to the teams to speak to them. Okay, it sounds like Brum's ready with them, so we're going to pass over to them.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Good to be back on the stream. Been a long morning. I'm up here on the Connex box with our drone team. So I'm going to ask some little questions here and get some questions answered before we get some launches off. You might be seeing all these video footage from out at the pads. You might be wondering how we're getting these shots. So we brought out this year our own special drone team. Guys, who wants to be first up? Oh, nobody wants to talk? All right. Tell us your name, where you're from, why you're here, what it's like to be up here on this Connex box that we got to see this beautiful view.
My name is Dwayne McCarty. My son is actually on one of the teams. He's with Clemson. So we decided to volunteer. We were watching the launches that he's been doing. We just thought it was awesome, and we wanted to get more involved. And I fly drones, and that's the best thing for me to be able to do. So that's why I'm here. And then we got these awesome guys, this awesome team from
Get over here. Let's get
from DS Pro Drone Services and Training, and I let them all introduce themselves.
Come out first. Can we see this? Got it? Got this?
Hello, my name is Dan Shantz, and I am the owner of DS Pro Drones Training and Services. A lot of these guys that are coming up here are students of mine, so it's been fun to actually see them use their skills and be able to do all these different things and get into an environment where they can actually have some fun.
Brooke Adams out of Midland there. It was one of the pilots went through his system, and it's great to get out here and see everything.
Last but not least.
Hi, my name is Santini, and I am a senior in high school, and I'm really interested in aerospace. I want to go into the field, so I'm out here exploring to just make sure and double check what I want to do with my life.
You know what's smart? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Eat smart with Factor.
What's it been like so far? You guys saw all the launches yesterday. Well, you've seen some launches so far today. What are your thoughts?
I have to say this is like some really high sky action right now. I've seen some sonic booms before, but I think I've never seen them going vertically this way so fast.
Very impressive. No, I had no idea this was going on. Yeah, just completely blow you out of the water.
I know it gets overused, but it's awesome. Awesome is all I can say.
It's mesmerizing. I like the ones that go up and sometimes miss and explode.
We love the blown up ones. Everyone loves it in the chat. We got a lot of Maryland fans up here. Talking. Well, I think we're going red soon, but I will say it's great being back on the stream. I know we have a lot of teams here, and I know a lot of people in the chat are wondering when their team's about to go. And while we don't know the exact time, we will say this next salvo, we'll try to put the names up on the screen soon. And just stick around, donate to us. You know, we're trying to do this for the students. It's great to have volunteers out here, like the drone team here. But if you ever want to be a volunteer, come in and help us out. We're always looking. There's always next year. Support your teams, support your groups, and yeah, I'll send it back to the table.
All right, I am here with Paraguay. They're actually the first team from Paraguay, so I'm really excited to talk to you today. So tell me a little bit about.
Okay, we are back. We're back live. Yes, should be working. Okay, we went into the tent because we were steaming. So some damn engineers joined us now, and I want to say hi to everyone, and then maybe they can also talk a bit about, I don't know, their work.
Yeah,
So there is
I don't know.
Orlando, former lead of the DAM division, Project Abur, and also Project West, right?
True.
Now an advisor.
Yeah, just an advisor now, but yeah, we're here for a quick minute before rolling out to the pods. Just wanted to say hi, all the friends at home. Thanks for tuning in. We're very excited. I hope you are too.
And Andrea?
Yeah, I have not much to say to add, but I mean, it's a pleasure being here, and thank you all for following us. And yeah, I hope, finger crossed.
All right, and also Nicola.
Hi. Yeah, I've nothing else to add. But I mean, we are quite ready for the run, so we're all excited to be here.
Right.
We're trying to get our rocket in the rail as soon as possible, so let's keep our eyes in the sky and see our different launch. In the next few minutes, they should be start launching rocket. So let's hope that we will see something good and nothing will explode.
Yeah, and hopefully we don't get also under a fucking storm because there is a kind of a lot of wind coming up right now. So okay, you have to go. Okay,
Yeah, we have to go to the pad. Yeah.
Good luck, and we'll see you later when you come back here.
For sure.
Rocket.
We're so proud to be the first team to stay here, and that thing it's the most important for the team to stay here.
Great. Anything else you want to add?
Well, show you that the talent came from anywhere, and tell about all of the teams. Where is Paraguay? Because nobody knows, and they know about how it's working. They're really interesting why we made our fuselage. Well, and that's it.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with everything today.
Thank you.
Always great to hear from the competitors as they're getting ready to go and do their launches. I'm looking over again at the spectator area, which is just off camera over here to my left. And it's getting busy. I can see the University of Arizona setting up right next to me. So they just said that they're going to be doing a live stream of their launch. I can see that there's teams ready from Paraguay that are going to be going up very soon. I can see the South Korean team that's also ready to be launching. I'm trying to look over there. Is that the Italians? Is that an Italian flag I see over there? Looks like it could possibly be. We've got 60 international teams this
That's
year.
a lot. And if you, interestingly enough, have you looked at all these different teams, their colors? I won't call them colors, but the custom shirts they're wearing.
Yeah.
Very colorful. There's a lot of them that I look at and sort of, they've taken some time. So they got somebody who knew had a good eye at graphics.
Actually, really important, and a good observation generally for the whole space industry, because people always think, well, space isn't for me. I'm not a rocket engineer, rocket scientist.
Right.
Why would I get involved in space? I'm definitely not a rocket engineer or a rocket scientist, and I work in the space industry. There are lots of different opportunities. So we encourage teams to think about things like marketing. So you've got to have someone who raises the funds, maybe someone in business major who thinks about how to manage the budget for it. You might have the team manager that might be a project manager, might not necessarily
And
have
they might
to
not
have
be an
skills.
engineer, they might be a business major and
Yeah,
marketing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely. I mean, having worked in space myself, I can tell you we have space lawyers.
Yes.
We have people that know how to do finance, administration.
There are
is rich.
specialists in finance and space
Yeah,
in industry
yeah.
now.
A bit of a breeze that's been blasting through here, sending some dust our way. I'm
It's a
sure
little,
it's causing a
little
few things.
dusty.
Yeah. So
And I
that's
think
probably
we've
what's
got-
causing a little bit of a hold up, and we can see some vehicles still that are coming off the range. Once they are off range, we'll be ready to start launching again, and we're waiting for that all clear to start going.
And we were told there are 19 teams that are racked up right now.
19 in the solid
That's a
rocket
pretty
mode
good
area.
rack of a set, pretty good size salvo.
We're probably not expecting any hybrid attempts for at least another hour.
No,
Rice
probably
was
not for a
ready
while.
and had to off gas, and they said it was going to be at least an hour and a half until they could turn that around even. We've got the team from Turkey that we've been talking about all morning. I know that they've got some great fans on the chat that are waiting to see them launch. I can see we've got teams from MIT in India. Not MIT in here in the US, that are watching and waiting and ready to go. I can see Worcester Polytechnic that's still waiting to go. As I mentioned, University of Arizona are right next to us right now. They're going to be launching soon. The Italians, I definitely see an Italian flag over there. I'm assuming that's the Italian team. So we will see. And it looks like we just got a super chat. BPS Space was a music major. Oh, I love to hear that. See?
All right. Well,
I was a
we've been looking
media
for-
major,
yeah.
so you know, and I
We've been looking for a theme song, right?
yes. Apparently, somebody has turned my voice into some kind of
Hey.
sound effect. Who knows?
Imitation is a sincere form of flattery, right? So
Yeah, there's a whole extension to that quote. We'll get to it sometime. Yes. We're going to speak to another student team. So while we're
Okay.
waiting, we might as well hear from who's going to be launching soon. So we're going to go and find out who's in the interview booth right now.
Okay.
We've got Gabriel here with University of Texas at Dallas. Gabriel, tell us a little bit about yourself, your role on the team, etc.
So yeah, I'm the chief engineer of my team. It's our second year competing. My role is more of like I help run the overall direction of the competition side of the team. So we do a lot of other projects, particularly with like smaller rockets. But we also have this big team where we build, a giant rocket to go to 10,000 feet. And so that's sort of my job, is to help manage that team.
Okay, so are there any like really cool features about your rocket this year?
We built a lot of the rocket ourselves, so there's very few elements that we bought. We built our own flight computer, our own tracker. We do SRAD propulsion, so we built our own propulsion system this year. We built like this all aluminum fin can that looks really cool to see, especially just in the rocket. And yeah, everything else, like pretty much every part of the rocket we made ourselves.
Gotcha, super cool. So I heard that you know Steve Taylor.
Yeah, so Steve is local to our university, which is in Richardson, Texas. And so we got him to be our flyer of record this year, it's cool because he's the president of and runs the event. But it doesn't get us a whole lot of sympathy with the judges or the people reviewing because it's Steve doing it. But it's still fun.
Got you. So a name drop that doesn't really help.
Yeah, it hurts.
So do you expect any challenges or is there anything that you're worried about this competition?
Well, so we flew already this morning, and our rocket, unfortunately, did not really survive the flight super well. We came back in pieces, and it did look really good going up, but it did not look good when we found it after it came back down. And that's just part of the challenge. It's not anything unusual or crazy. It's just, it happens, and you have to learn how to deal with it.
Got you. So, and how long have you been involved with rocketry?
I've been doing this for like 2.5 years now, I would say. So December or January of 2023, I would say, roughly. That's when I got started.
Got you.
Okay, so the next batch is about to go. The next dozen launches, so we have to leave the tent and to go outside because of our safety thing. So we'll be back after this batch of launches. And by the way, you will see our video on the top right, which is live, and the Ezra feed, which is the main one, will be around 30 seconds to 1 minute late. So this is why you will see multiple launches.
So hi everyone, I'm Andrea again. We are here to commentate the current launches. So this will be the last slot, and then we are on the next one. We are on the third one of the day. So we just saw a launch from the double stage pads. So you saw two smoke trails. The first one was the first stage going off, burning for about 2 to 3 seconds, and then you saw the second stage igniting.
There's a recovery of the first stage, right? That's the first.
Yeah,
that's the first stage recovery.
We are seeing that the parachute from the first stage correctly deployed, and he's gently coming down. I probably also heard a sonic boom, so I imagine this double stage is supersonic. So double stages were not supposed to have a waiver to launch today's. They are launches to 45,000 feet of apogee, approximately 15 kilometers. That's higher than the typical cruise altitude for an airliner. So these kind of launches are not always allowed, but I think they probably got an extension on the waiver and launched at least this double stage today. And now we are back to the pads race, I think. Launching team 142.
Did the second stage recover, or? Yeah?
Yeah. So successful launch for this double stage. Nice.
Yeah?
Very good job.
I don't see it. Okay.
So you see that we are not standing behind the camera during launches, and everybody is standing up.
Oh yeah, yeah, there it is. It's too hot in here.
Yeah, Fabio and the other guys are complaining it's only 35 degrees.
It's an oven. Another launch coming. Is it?
Yeah, I saw the ROM guys very focused. So this is probably their rocket.
I didn't hear calling their name.
No, unfortunately the speakers here are very bad and you can barely hear a thing. So we didn't hear the call out for the name.
I don't see the drop.
As we said previously, you will see the video on the big feed about 30 seconds to 1 minute later than it's actually happening for us.
I'm not seeing the drop though.
Yeah, not saying anything.
microphone cut. It probably died. I hope you can hear me now. So I was just saying that here the commentators announced the flight of a rocket that deploys its payload on the ground. We don't exactly know what this is. What do you think, Nico?
I really don't know, because why should you deploy a payload on the ground? I mean,
It's not a deploy.
yeah.
It's a touchdown.
Or maybe they deploy and they reach the ground in some way.
I don't know. The speakers have not been clear, because what are you deploying on the ground? You can just leave it there. We'll see. Don't know why everything is on hold. They are looking for a
Live video.
yeah, the live stream from a team that has a call sign that starts with 9. That means experimental. It could be a probably like a biliquid or a complex hybrid.
Okay, I'm Nico, because now Andrea has to answer the radio, because he's our wind boy, and he knows all the stuff about the wind and the condition that we need to have for a successful launch. We are waiting, we are on hold for new information for the new launch. We don't know why, because they said it on the speaker that should be that should be a launch in the next few seconds, but now everything is on hold, so we just wait and see. They are looking for some teams, but just shouting number. Let's see, let's see. Maybe we can find some of the team member of the Rome team to ask if the rocket was their own and how they think it went, because we unfortunately didn't see the drone deploy, so maybe it went ballistic. That's really unfortunate if that went that way, but we will see, we will see. We are here again with Fabio. What do you think, Fabio? Why we are on hold right now, waiting for some rocket that has a deployable payload on the ground?
Honestly, no idea. It might be ground problems, might be wind, like the wind is a bit high maybe now. I don't know. But yeah, deployable payloads, it's always a thing you don't want to do. Just
On the ground. So.
just overcomplicates your life. Yeah, and then if you deploy on the ground, yeah, it's even worse.
We have seen at the paddock like very weird, very experimental type of payload. I have seen myself two rockets that has a 3D printer basically in their payload. One of them, one of the other rocket has seeds to see the effect of microgravity. I don't know how much of microgravity they will have on the rocket, but I mean, it's kind of an experiment, so it's good. We have electronic payload to get some data, because that's what we care about, and we also Andrea is back with us.
Sorry to interrupt. We just received the communication that our guys are loading vests onto the pickup truck, and so they are ready to go to the launch trail. And back to Nico.
Okay. Andrea just interrupt me abruptly. Oh, and we have found the key of our pickup. Okay, a problem less. So, as I was saying, we have a payload that is a project that we gave it to high school student, because we think that it's important to give high school an opportunity to also participate in this kind of competition. So it's really good for them and also for us. We can collaborate with them. We can try to make them one with us, and maybe that will join our team later. So it's cool. It's cool. Andrea, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, of course, it's a wonderful opportunity for the both of us. So thanks to the Space Eagle team for building our payload together. We hope it works. We hope everything is set up correctly. Nico mounted it yesterday. All the boards are okay, so batteries are working. They will turn it on the launch site near to the rail, and we hope everything goes smoothly. We've seen like a lot of teams producing strange payloads, and like things here are getting actually crazy. The payload is an important part of this competition. You must have at least 2 kilograms from payload on your rocket. Actually, it was more than this. It was 4 kilograms 2 years ago. This year, they limited the weight to 2 kilograms, and some teams have just a ballast, a dead mass, and some other teams have experimental payloads. You get more points if the payload is in a CubeSat form. Unfortunately, VES flies too fast to be that big with our motor, so our payload is not in a CubeSat form, and it is located into the nose cone of the rocket. But bigger rockets have full CubeSat inside of them, and we've seen in the recent years a lot of CubeSat programs inside.
Yeah. And we had like 2 days at the paddock. The first 2 days of the competition were basically you go at the paddock with all the teams to showcase all your project, to make them ask questions to you and also ask questions you to them, because it's always time to learn new things. They are trying to launch a rocket, I think, so we are out there looking at the sky. Let's hope that it's their home team. It seems so. They are quite stressed, so maybe it's there.
Che numero siete? 140. Ah, perché ho sentito 142, che eravate 140 qualcosa e non capivo se era vostro.
So we had the confirmation that Rome team hasn't yet. So now it's another team turn to launch. Let's see. Oh, we have ignition. Oh, the ascent was not that stable, but it's looked good to here. So let's see if the drone will deploy correctly. We can see from here. Nice apogee. Oh, the drone deployed, or at least it seems so. Yeah. The drone deployed successfully, so they will probably have a good recovery. Let's hope so for them. We were trying to catch some girls from Rome, but
yeah, they're too shy. So we hope to get an interview from the team leader of the Sapienza rocket team later. They're waiting to launch their rocket. So we just saw a rocket that was actually stable, but you see that what low winds can produce if the rocket is very long. Some oscillations, everything under control. That is normal under high winds. It is not like the best things that can happen. Obviously, the best thing is no wind and the rocket going straight up, but that is not always the case. So these things are completely normal. So if you see a rocket oscillating, that means that out of rail, the wind is pushing it into the direction of the wind. But its wings actually generate some lift that restore the correct attitude of the rocket. But because of the inertia of the entire system, the rocket can overshoot and actually go the other way around. And these oscillations can be evaluated and must be kept under control. So that's called dynamic stability. So perfect launch here, perfect ascent, very clean. And Another 10K COTS probably. I see Fabio and Nico discussing with the guys from Sapienza Rocket Team. Hello to any members of Sapienza Rocket Team that may be following also our stream. I don't know, probably not, but just in case. Yeah, things are getting very excited. It's the first competition for them, so the excitement doubles. We are also very nervous here, and we have already launched rockets in 3 different competitions, and things never change. But the first time is actually special, I think, and so that's why they're so nervous. I've seen the rocket; it looks really nice. The design is, in my opinion, very good, and let's see. I hope the launch goes very well. Another perfect ascent here. Let's hear the comment from Nico.
Perfect ascent. Yeah. Let's hope that we can also say so about our ascent, because we are, let's speak the truth here.
Yeah.
We are a little bit scared.
Yeah, of course we are scared because of the big engine and the length of the rocket. So Rome team launching next, the only other Italian team here.
Okay, so the team from
We are really rooting
Rome
for them.
is
We
the
want
next
them
team
to
to launch. I mean, now you're still seeing
Yeah, there's
the,
a bit of confusion in the paddock at
that's
the
true.
moment because it seems that a rocket is exactly on our heads.
I was saying maybe we're speaking also was in the next launch is a team from Rome, Sapienza.
Yeah.
But guys, keep your head up because we have a rocket.
Yeah,
Is
eyes
there
in
a
the
rocket
skies
falling
now.
on us?
Oh, I see it. I
Jesus.
see it.
Where is it?
It's straight up on our heads, spiraling down. I think it's under drogue.
Is it ballistic? Under
No, I
drogue?
think it's under drogue because it spirals in a way that cannot be ballistic. in my
I honestly
opinion.
can't see anything.
But I don't see the chute, so let's keep the eyes up in the sky. Judges and speakers, commentators seems relaxed.
Should we go near the team from Rome?
Yeah. Let's
I don't know if
move on to the
microphone-
front rows.
I don't know if the microphone range is.
Yeah, we'll check. We hope you can hear anything.
Hopefully you can hear us. Prossimi. No. Bravo one. Okay. No, they are not the next ones. They are not the next ones.
So we heard the
There is a main
voices
recovery. What the fuck?
of the team that just had those rockets up on our heads, and
thanks.
it seems everything is fine. We can
But
see the
it
rocket
seems that
correctly
another
descending.
rocket just launched without igniting or what?
No.
What's
No,
it
no.
called?
They call it.
Okay. So next launch is Bravo 1 or Bravo 2?
No, someone has to stay over there.
Allora, però dovete tenervi le radio staccate perché noi abbiamo bisogno. Ci serve sapere l'angolo della rampa, ripetere, l'angolo della rampa.
6 gradi, ma perché si può scegliere?
No, ok. Però per favore tenetevi le radio attaccate pure.
Ce le abbiamo vicine, non era ricevuto niente. Ce l'abbiamo tutti.
Ma vi abbiamo chiamato.
S-Rad motor. And this is out at pad B2.
sky, and we're launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, COTS.
That was bad.
So we just seen an explosion. Yeah, Nicola, tell us about it.
Yeah, as Fabio started to say, we just seen an explosion from one of the raids. So one of the team unfortunately didn't make it. It could happen. Yesterday happened too. And the one that happened yesterday has the exact same motor as ours. So we are scared, kinda. From what I understand, of the team that has our same motor, 3 out of 3 as of now has also this one as the no 3 out of 3 had problems. Let's hope that we don't make 4 out of 4. I think, finger crossed. Let's see if we can let's see if we can find about what happened.
Siamo pronti.
Vuoi commentare cosa è successo? The team leader from Rome came to us and said that it was a SRAD motor, and they had the parachute deployed in the rail. So kinda weird incident. They should have like a lot of security system to prevent that, but you can't control everything. As someone on our team always said,
Maybe they're next.
we are waiting for the Rome team.
Let's hear if they say anything. Yeah, so we had some people coming to our table asking if something we had was theirs, and no, everything is ours here, except for the Starlink. Yeah, because we are too broke for the Starlink. So thanks to the Australian team from Melbourne, I think it's called ARES, for lending us the Starlink. Because without it, yeah, there will be no live stream. Okay, there has been a very... Was it Rome? Was it Rome?
No, it was
Okay.
stage.
There was a pretty weird launch, a lot of noise, like unusual noise, but it seems the launch was nominal. But there's still no drug shoot or main shoot. But it was very, very loud, much louder than the other rockets.
It was an hybrid rocket. From what we understood, it was an hybrid rocket, and our wind boy here said that probably the sound was intentional to give a cool look of the rocket. And also
You think they make the sound intentional to make it sound like it was? I mean, I never heard of this, but
Yeah, it's an unusual stuff, but I think that wasn't the sound of something coming off, and that was really peculiar. So I think they designed some kind of air intakes to produce this kind of noise. You see that all the time on planes, on fighter jets, and I think they probably used this kind of a system.
Yeah, it could be so. We are waiting for news from our guys in the rail. They should be setting up the rail right now because they asked for the rail angle. So we should be. What's happened here? No. So we should be, if not the next, in like half an hour, we should be the one that will be launched. Let's hope so, because here is very hot everywhere, and we need like a stop. I think we will close the communication for now, so we can have a break. And
We can have a break. There's a break now.
yeah, I think so because they didn't announce anything, so we can have a break.
Okay, we can go.
We leave the hazard feed to you guys, so we will be back soon.
Inspecting.
Yeah, there again, the vehicle's gone out there to see what's going on.
And it wasn't bad enough that they this time they did not send the fire department.
No,
So
well,
it
we
was,
could already see on the.
yeah.
Thankfully, that's why the drone
Yeah.
footage is
Mhm.
great to be able to see this, not just for the live stream, but for us to be able to see in real time what's going on. There wasn't a fire.
That's right. There wasn't a fire. You can
we
see.
just need to make sure that there isn't any damage to any of the other vehicles in the area.
And
that
there
it's
they
not-
are. Someone's inspecting all the equipment.
Yeah, yeah. We've got trained folks out there making sure everything's fine and that we can go ahead with the rest of the launches. We certainly wouldn't want to risk it for what we call rocket fever, taking off quickly without really doing all
That's
the
right.
due diligence and checks. So we will get to that as soon as we can.
Yeah, it's that human emotion. You want to do it. You want to do it. You want
Yeah.
to do it. And sometimes you guys got to say no. And that's, believe it or not, that's probably the toughest thing to do is to
It
say
is.
no. We're not going
Saying
to go.
no is always the most difficult thing. As
right.
a mother, I can tell you that. Oh, I've just had a question asked. What does SRAD stand for? You're the perfect person to ask.
What is
SRAD. So we
SRAD?
talk about COTS, don't we, which is
Oh, that's a
commercial
stu-
off the
okay.
shelf.
That's
SRAD
student
is-
research and design rocket.
Perfect. Yeah. So some of the students, that means that they've designed part of the engine, correct?
Yes.
Not always all of it, though.
Well, it's for example, if they build their own solids, they have to have a formulation. They have to have a way to mix it. They have to have a way to pour it. We require, if you're going to have a student design and build engine, you have to static fire to prove us that your system works.
Which is the same as what
Right.
professional companies
That's right.
have to
That's
do
exactly
anyway.
what professional companies
Yep.
do. So at that point, once a student, they can prove to us, here's our test report of a successful test firing that worked the way we said it was going to do. We'll
Yep.
say you can. People in Tripoli, the Tripoli Rock Association, who build their own solid motors. And a lot of people build their own hybrid. It's just one step below the commercial people.
It's amazing. I mean, a lot of the people that come and volunteer for the Experimental Sounding Rocket Association, or ESRA, which is the organisation that puts this on, we're all volunteers. I'm keep adding that out there. We all come and give up our time to come and do this because we care about it. A lot of you all are professionals in the industry.
Yes,
and you're
there are.
passing on a ton of
That's there are.
information to these
You start looking at all the people here. You have I've run into more than a few college professors. A lot of, in fact, the guys sitting here who are working on this are all professionals. One of them works for Blue Origin. A couple people I've seen worked for SpaceX. We have Starlink, a Starlink technician here. He's going to come.
Sounds like we're all good. They've cleared the area. That's great news.
He's the perfect guy. Did you get to announce the hybrid?
Oh yeah, I did.
That's awesome. He's the perfect guy to have to do that.
Oh, we know, Steve. Rick's been
Thank you,
brilliant at
Steve.
explaining to me in a manner that even us non-engineers can understand, which is perfect. Okay, this is where I'm going to really ruin this. Oh.
Okay, we are back. We are back with another launch, Pad Bravo 3. So let's see what happens. We are waiting still for the launch from the team from Rome, Sapienza, which is Bravo 5. So they should be in. Okay, this is Bravo 3 going in. It's an M-class solid motor going to 3 kilometers. Green light. Launched. It's a very fast ascent. Very fast. And pretty stable. Still no sign of parachutes.
On top of our head, again.
HT?
Yeah, next to the sun.
Oh yeah, you see something on top? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's a smoke. There's a smoke charge going really on top of our heads.
Yeah, we can see it. It's like on top of our head next to the sun. We are kind of in a bad situation here to see it. We have no sign of drone deployment until now, but let's hope to see something. And now we don't see anything. It's kind of difficult to see the rocket when it goes into the sun, so maybe we had drone deployment, but we cannot see it. Bravo 4. Bravo 4 is not. It's the next one in the next team, but it's not the Rome team. They're on the Bravo 5 rail. So let's see. Maybe they're the next one. Ignition. Good ascent. They are stable. Perfect ascent. We can still see it. And now we don't see anything again because it went into the sun. Okay, now it's the turn of the Rome team. Rome team is launching now. Being across for them. They're going for the 10K category. So it's 3 kilometer apogee. Let's hope that they can do great. With ignition, lift off. Ascent looks good. Perfect ascent. Okay, they're not into the sun, so we may see the drone deploy. Good apogee. They're going. Yeah. Where is the drone? Come on, drone. Ah, it looked ballistic to me.
Yeah, it looks ballistic. It looks ballistic. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it looked ballistic. So no parachute deployment. The rocket went straight down. Yeah, they are probably ballistic.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, it's sad because yeah, for our friends from Rome, they were working a lot. So yeah, it's a shame.
The weather here, it's kind of bad for us because starting to get windy. We are waiting here to get our rail for like 3 hours now. Let's hope we can launch today. even if the weather is like kind of sucks for us. Oh, another lift off. Good ascent, good ascent. We lost track of it, so I couldn't update. From what we seen, just the ascent was good. We don't know anything else. I will give the mic to Fabio again, so he will talk to you for a little bit.
Yeah, we don't have much to say now. Just waiting for our turn. Hopefully in the next half an hour, 20 minutes to half an hour. And yeah, in the meanwhile, yeah, we'll leave you with the Ezra feed.
All right, moving on to Charlie C.
C3. Who have we got at C3, guys? Do we know?
Up is Charlie 3. This is team 111.
111.
University.
Clarkson State.
One moment.
Clarkson University. All the ones.
All right, we have the rocket is Refolner, 10K COTS going 10,000 feet on an M2500 Blue Thunder. Charlie 3 going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There it goes.
Oh!
Blue flame.
That one really came off with a wobble.
It did, yeah. There was some wind there. I think it hit a gust.
Is that what we think it was?
Yeah. It hit a gust of the rocket right itself, and then it's at an angle.
All right, next up.
Feel the wind coming that way, it turned into wind.
Yeah.
Team 800, that's Rice.
It looks like Rice
You got a
University
drove?
are going to
You
go
got
with
the
their
drove?
hybrid. They were the ones that were filling up earlier and ended up off gassing, so we hopefully will see them actually launch. Hybrids, as we said before,
All right, Rice University.
are really tough ones to deal with, so when they're ready to go, they're ready to go. Let's go Rice University.
10K. Here's an example of a university built it. So in fact, there aren't any. No one's flown a COTS hybrid yet in competition.
Here we go.
Here we go.
2, 1, launch.
Oh, I see smoke. Here we go. What a great noise.
Wow, that screamed off that pad.
It did.
Woo! He's got a lot of fuel in that thing.
What great noises they
Wow.
make. I love the fact
That
that
jumped
hybrids
off
have
the
that.
pad. That was
Why do
impressive.
hybrids make that noise?
It's just the supersonic sound, the shockwave hitting us, and the combustion. That's you hear the combustion burning. That's a sound, combustion sound.
They're my favorite, I have to say. When you really feel it, you hear it.
Yeah, you hear it, feel it. Yep.
That's when you really get that full experience of a rocket launch. So congratulations. Again, that was Rice University.
Nice shot,
And their
Rice.
hybrid. It looked like a really good launch from where we're standing. We've got lots of on the chat talking about Paraguay. They're asking if frequency for telemetry is allowed.
That I don't know.
Yeah.
We're going to be moving to C3 now, Charlie.
Charlie 3.
Sorry, Charlie 4 now.
Charlie 4, sorry.
Team 201. Just waiting on report.
Sounds
from
like
the
Rice
hybrid.
may had a main opening.
Just make it up if you don't know. That's me to a T, my friend. I'm loving the chat. Great COTS hybrid. Anyone know what engine they used?
No, they're using. I know they use nitrous as their propellant. I don't know what their fuel grain was made out
I
of.
don't think it was a COTS hybrid, was it? I thought it was an SRAD hybrid that we just
Oh yeah, it was an S-Bred hybrid. Yeah.
So you know that means it's student research and design for it. So it was great. If someone were bringing a 25,000 motor, would that be able to fly at Irec, just out of curiosity?
I'd have to check what the limit is. That's a pretty big motor.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds very powerful.
25,000. Oh, I don't know if they'd
Reach out to us offline and we'll see what we can do. Yeah, Franz just said it was an SRAD hybrid. We do think it was. We're doing our best. So it sounds like Brigham Young University is going to be coming up next with a 30,000 foot COTS.
30K COTS.
Brigham Young, BYU have done very, very well in the past. I think they won 2 years ago.
2 years ago, they won the whole thing.
They won the entire, yeah.
They won the cup.
So we'll see how they do this year. Sounds like they also have a video challenge on this one, so we'll see if we can get some video. So BYU will be coming up next. Oh, they won the video challenge last year, and they won the entire thing 2 years ago. So, you know. Great to see BYU.
Spectators, when a launch is occurring, you must exit your tent. You must exit your tent for safety purposes.
All right, we are now moving to
Somebody asked, 25,000. That's
Charlie 4 is team 201 from Brigham Young University.
That's a huge engine.
It is a
Yeah.
30K
Well, everyone wants to go bigger and better. We are in Texas after all. Everything is bigger in Texas. So why not go for it all the way? No, seriously, if you are interested in questions like that and we don't have the answers to them, please do reach out to soundingrocket.org. One of the team will get back to you probably after the competition to answer your questions if you're interested in coming and competing.
I think that'll also be in the Irec rules if you want to look at the rules, rules documents.
Here we go. Go BYU.
There you go.
Oh, bit of a wobble. Again, that had the wind situation.
That was a problem.
Okay, that seemed to change direction.
It did. I don't think that wasn't controlled.
No. Oh.
Although it's still working.
It's coming back down hot.
No, I think something's.
Yeah,
see that
spinning.
flittering and spinning. So it broke.
We have parts coming in hot out on the
There are
range.
parts.
I mean, this is why we do this. It's away from. University. I will get that double checked though. Problem is I've got the list of all the teams here. I haven't got what they are flying and how they're flying. It's very difficult. It's a lot of information. It's 143 teams to track, isn't there, Rick?
Now moving to the final.
Oh, it was a 30K SRAD. Thank you so much. 30K SRAD hybrid. Thank you so much, team, for listening in. Somebody's paying attention if I'm not. We apologise for the graphics being wrong. Again, it's a lot to keep up with.
Illinois Tech Rocketry. Their 10K COTS going to 10.350.
Somebody's parachute came down right over there. See it fluttering in the wind. So that's pretty close.
I missed what team we've got coming up
We have
next.
clear skies and we have a green light. That means we are launching in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Illinois.
Illinois Institute of Technology. And there you go. See that was blue. There it goes.
So it's great to see the difference in the different types of propellants.
That's
and
right, the
fuel.
colors, yep.
Because obviously I'm assuming their burn was much shorter, but it gave them enough energy to keep it going.
Yes, it was. They burned a lot of thrust quickly instead of burning less thrust longer.
And
It's
that
a
continues
trade-off.
to give it the momentum to get
Right,
to it.
right.
We've had an event. It looks like we can see the drogue at least that's come out.
There it is.
Is that
yep.
main? Oh dear, it looks like we've got a main and a drogue that's come out at this point. So it's going to be a bit of a slow descent coming down, but great to see Illinois doing well. That was team 1, 2, 3, I believe. We just saw Illinois Institute of Technology. Again, guys, I apologise. We're jumping all over the range right now because we're just trying to get as many launches as possible. So we're doing our best to try and keep up with who's coming up next and listening to the pads. We don't have the pad numbers. They're assigned after the team lists go out. So we're doing our best. And do keep us in check on the chat. We appreciate it when people ask questions because we can't always keep up with it all. We're asking about Argentina. I don't think we've seen the Argentinian team go yet. Keep watching, guys. We will do our best to keep up with you. Same with the team from India, MIT. And I'm not sure we've seen Paraguay go yet either, so stay tuned, guys. We will bring them to you as soon as we know they're up next. We've definitely seen the University of Rome take off this morning. We've just seen Illinois University take off. George Washington
BYU
University had a bit of
flew.
a problem. BYU did fly. I loved UNM, and I'm not just saying that because I'm from New Mexico. They had a beautiful black smoke take off. It was great to see. And again, that comes down to the chemicals that they've put in there. We're not 100% sure what causes all the different colours. But if anybody knows, add it to the chat and we'll make sure we
You can
share
also
that
put things that make sparks out of it.
I've seen that.
So they call them sparky engines, yeah.
Pretty. Why not? I mean, if you're
You
going to
can't
do
fly
it,
those
you must
everywhere
have fun.
because sometimes those sparks will come out and they could be a fire hazard. More than what a normal rocket plume would be.
Thank you, Carl, for giving me a bit of an English thanks on the chat. At least I'm assuming that was your little nod to saying you're doing okay. Thank you. Go University of Calgary. Oh yeah, we've seen quite a few Canadian teams. They've done very well in the past as well. We'll keep an eye on that. So where are we going to go next? We're looking over at the solids area. We had 19 racked up. I think we've gone through, well, at least 8 of them so far.
Yeah, we've gone through half of them.
Yeah. So we'll see. We will see. Who are we going to next? A3. Can't see the number of the team. I think that one's missing a team number on it. This is what happens when you take a Bic out there and write a number on a big white piece of paper in the desert. We will figure it out as soon as we can what team it is we're probably going to be going to next. Or if
that's pad A5.
A5. Oh, can we just zoom in on that? Pennsylvania, it looks like. Does that mean that's Penn State or University of Pennsylvania?
University of Pennsylvania.
There you go. We have to make sure we're not one and the same thing. University of Pennsylvania looks like will be coming up next.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, whoever decided to stick their name on their rocket,
It's a smart idea.
Yes, because then us folks, oh no, they're not going to be going next. There's somebody fiddling around with things.
Somebody's fiddling around with
That's never a good sign.
Okay.
Okay, let's hope. Bryce, get away from the rocket, Bryce. I'm kidding. He's obviously been given the okay to go out there. It sounds, often they've set everything up. They've got their GPS. They've come out here and they haven't got a lock, and so they've had to go back out and see if they can establish that. Oh no, their signal keeps. Wind is causing a few little issues out
Looks
there.
like there are a lot of people out there now, so I guess have they gone to?
They're reloading. I can see another.
So they're going out there with another rack.
Salvo heading out.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you going to take over? It looks like Matt's going to take over for me.
Matt's going to take over? Okay.
So no more British. Yay.
All
Alice,
right.
it's great
Thank
to
you,
get
Alice.
back out here. Rick, it's good to be out here with you.
Good to be with you, Matt.
Yeah, how have things been going out here so far?
Well, they've been pretty.
We just had a good salvo that went through.
We had
it's
a great
good
salvo.
to see.
A lot of questions come up. That's good.
Yeah, a lot of love from the Brazilians, the Argentinians. I still haven't seen any super chats come through. Maybe that'll change.
Very soon, I'll be closing the doors of my handcrafted bag studio forever. This is your last chance. All my handcrafted bags is 80% off. Here are just a few of my favorite pieces. There are only a handful left. Please take a moment to visit my online store. Everything is 80% off, and once they're gone forever. Don't miss your chance to own something.
So I guess it's just me out here and holding things down, doing the job of 3. We just had a great salvo. Rick is back after it's hot out here. Normally I'm inside in the media trailer, but definitely need water out here.
We definitely do. Yeah, I want to make sure everyone keeps drinking water. It's hot out here. It's probably in the middle 90s, upper 90s.
Totally. Yeah, I think that's about right. I heard the UV index is as high as it gets out here.
Yeah, you can walk out in the sun. You actually feel how strong that sunlight is.
Totally.
So
that's why we stay fully covered as much as we can. Sunscreen on.
Sunscreen on.
That's a necessity, absolutely. Yeah. So it sounds like we're gonna check in with a group. Actually, one of our exclusive media partners, Lafayette Space. They presented at the Horseshoe to students teaching about safety-centered control systems. So let's check in with the team at Lafayette Space in the interview booth.
Have Nick with Lafayette Systems here with us today. Nick, tell us a little bit about what your company does.
Yeah, so I run a small YouTube channel called Lafayette Systems, mostly do rockets with guidance and control systems on them. Started out a couple years back with canard control. That's where you have fins on the front of the vehicle that steer to maneuver the vehicle, and kind of stepped up and done some more sophisticated things since then.
Got you. So what brings you to Irec this year? How long have you been involved with Irec?
This is my first year. I'm having a great time. Figured I would volunteer as a judge. Logan reached out to me and asked if I was interested in doing it. It was really great to read the technical reports from some of the teams, get to see the vehicles they built. And now we're out at the launch site. I spent yesterday working the front gate, and now I'm here doing some interviews and walking around watching the rockets.
Very good. So how long have you been involved with rocketry generally?
Oh gosh, it's been a while. I used to build Estes rockets with my dad back in the day. I did the Team American Rocketry Challenge back in high school. It's under a different name now, but then in college, I remember I saw this video of a guy who was steering rockets around with little servos in the nose, and I figured that'd be a fun summer project, and that was like 6 years ago. Turns out it's a lot more difficult than that, but I'm having a great time.
Excellent. Is there anything else that you want to share with us here?
I would just say if you're in college and you have a university team that's doing Irec, then I would really recommend doing it. It's something that I didn't have the opportunity to do, and the teams out here are putting together really fantastic vehicles. And if your university doesn't have an Irec team, look to start one. This is a ton of fun.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Thank you.
And the crew in there, really interesting to hear. What opportunities might be available. Even if you want to continue your hobby after Irec or get involved early. It looks like we're seeing a lot of love in the chat from Australia, Argentina. I think I met with some of the crew when they came out to set up. So big flags in the chat right now. There's a bunch of Indian flags in the chat, I think, right? Krishanu Day, yeah. Let's see, it's the love for your country. That's good to see. Has Monash launched yet? Milan asked. Oh no, I brought the wrong one in. Let's see. Can we bring this one in? Oh, there we go. Yes, Monash has launched. That's right. That's right. We saw them. I think we saw maybe an off nominal flight there.
It was off nominal. Yeah. Hold on for a second. I get some of them back.
Oh yeah.
This hat has actual brain dust on
it. Yeah. It makes sure it's authentic, not just a showcase.
That's right.
Let me.
We should autograph that.
That's
funny. The commentary crew to
Rick,
you.
It looks like we're looking at something. Can you explain to me what folks who haven't seen this?
Okay, what this is we got here from this thing. It's a little historical thing. Used to be teams would drive their own rockets out. Or some teams in the old days, they carried them out.
Yeah.
So we decided to build this rack. So the idea is once the rocket is approved, it's ready to go. The team's loaded on here, and then we drive it out there, and then your team will drive out there with it. That's where you see this huge convoy of cars going out. They get out there, then.
Okay, so we're gonna give you a super quick update. The guys are at the launch pad, and they are completing their checklists of the pre-launch checklist. So an ATA that we can give you is, I would hope for 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes. Hopefully everything is fine, and then it also depends on the pad number, which we do not know yet. For instance, if it's Alpha 1, we'll go immediately. But if it's, Bravo 6, we'll be one of the last teams to launch. So, yeah, I would say at least 20 minutes, maybe more, depending on the pad number.
To the Argentinians. I met some of your team. I think that maybe there's only one one Argentinian team out, but I know there's other folks coming from South America. But to that rocket trailer, it's definitely a great way to move them safely and effectively out to the pads.
Yeah, you can see they're starting to carry. They're carrying it out the pads. They picked up the rocket and carried it out.
I think I know which Aaron this is. If this is Aaron Chan.
$2. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the love, Aaron. That's I don't know anybody who knows my last. Well, maybe I guess it's on my shirt, but
it's on your shirt. The world knows who
yeah,
you are. So yeah.
It's not anonymous out here, but thank you for that super chat. There.
Now you see right there. There's an example of them putting a rocket on a rail. They mount the rail buttons onto the slot, and then just gently slide it on.
So this rail we've got here is a pretty standard configuration.
That is a standard rail. I forgive me for not knowing what that rail's called. I think it's a 2080, but basically the standard width and it's a standard depth.
Yep.
And that's what the little buttons we make that go into it.
Slide right in. Yeah, I think the company that makes these aluminum extrusions is called 8020.
8020, yes.
And it's a 1515 rail.
Right,
if I've got that
1515
right.
rail. Yep.
And
those are standard throughout the high power rocket community. Those rail numbers. So yeah, it's
Gotcha. And I think we just got another super chat. 1 second. Let me see if I can find it here. I wrote some code to make this automation happen out here, but it's kind of buggy. We got $2 from Tim. Tell us about Hoppy's Hotel. Tim is actually one of a volunteer and also part of the sponsorship crew from SpaceX.
Okay.
This feed is brought to you thanks to the Starlinks that are on top of the trailer.
Thank you,
here.
Starlink. Yeah, that's great. And it's fast. I've used Starlink before in the middle of a desert. I was surprised how I could actually do live video on it.
Totally.
It was shocking. I've never seen that before.
If folks haven't seen our configuration, all of that data, there's no fiber out here in the middle of the oil field, but we do have Starlink, and it's a pretty impressive constellation they're operating. And Tim is one of the folks that makes that happen. I think we just got another. Let's see, we got another super chat from Milan asking, when you have the chance, can you interview SOAR? Milan, I think you should send out the SOAR team to the commentator booth. That's probably or inside to the media trailer. That's the best way to get connected with our team. But we appreciate the super chat. So we've got another super chat here. I don't know which currency this is, but it's 10 units of currency from Samuel Nascimento de Melo
I think
Santos.
that's a Mexican team, isn't
it? So that's certainly not.
I forget what the Mexican currency is. Pesos.
Right. Maybe the R is not pesos, but let's see what else to folks. Chad, if you have any other questions, let me know. We've got an industry expert, Rick Wills, here.
I hope I can stand up to that compliment.
Rick, is it correct you had an early part of your career in the Air Force or in the military, and then you moved over to work at Air Force Research Lab? Is that right?
Yeah, I did. First, I was in acquisition. I bought aircraft. I helped buy I was on the C-17, and these development teams are hundreds of people.
Totally.
So I was on the C-17 development team. I was on the Air Force One, the current Air Force One development team. I was the interior engineer for that. I worked on a lot of special operations aircraft, the Air Force version of the tilt rotor aircraft, the B-22, and a bunch of C-130 variants that we used. So
quite the fleet of aircraft that you supported. That is a big part of our your current Air Force in the U.S.
Yes.
Have you seen any of the changes that are happening to the acquisition, military acquisition in America?
Well, the biggest thing I think that's changing is drone technology.
Yes.
Suddenly, and I think the war in Europe is showing that everyone here uses drones constantly, right?
Yep.
They've been
actually we've had quite a few of our camera angles are
right. So drones, I think, are the big thing. Drones are tiny. You can buy, the idea is buy thousands of them.
Drone swarms.
So drone swarms. And we have this we have the software that can control a drone swarm. You see them in people will do, instead of fireworks shows, they'll have drone shows.
Drone shows,
yeah. So when you have that kind of technology with that kind of control, you can use it for other purposes.
I think
I think that's a great change. Suddenly buying that isn't like buying a F-35, which I forget how much, a couple
billions,
a piece. you can buy these things are, when you make 1,000, they're probably costing, a couple $100 a piece.
Right.
That's the big change.
That certainly is a different. I think the acquisitions officers call it an exquisite solution or piece of work versus the low-cost attritable.
Attritable, yeah. Attritable is the word they use now in the parlance. That means you're going to, if you send 1,000 drones, you're going to lose 100, and that's expected. So
I think we've got a close-up of somebody out at the pads. That person, many of our online viewers might recognize as DOS from NSF, NASA Spaceflight. Putting a camera this close to the pads means, one, it's going to get dusty because it's the rockets are launching, but also it's picking up.
You know what's smart? Dinner on autopilot. Eat smart with Factor.
Spaceflight to
help thanks support. A lot to them. I mean, those videos here with the NASA spatial equipment are just outstanding.
Hey, there he goes.
There you go. Thanks. Good job.
I think he's talking back to his crew, but it's always awesome to have DOS out. And in addition to the support from NASA Spaceflight, we also have a great partner that's been with us since the beginning of the competition, which is SDL, Space Dynamics Laboratory.
Yep.
And we've recently had some support from their media team. Emily joined the Ezra media team, and she has been wonderful. Actually, earlier today, you probably saw her in front of the camera for some of the interviews, but the SDL has been around for a while, and
they've been through Irec all the entire time.
Yeah, since you were
at least I've been here since 2014.
Yeah, so. In Green River there.
The wind's picking up a little bit, so that may I don't know what the wind speed is, but that could affect launches.
Yeah, let's see if there's any questions from.
In fact, the wind's starting to get in our eyes.
It is picking up a little bit. It sounds like we're going. Maybe I can stall a little bit longer to get confirmation on it, but it sounds like we're gonna check in with some folks from SDL.
Okay.
And we're gonna check in with them right now, actually, in the interview room.
Hey everyone, we're here with Chris Jackson from Space Dynamics Lab, who handle our payload competition. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks.
So, first of all, impressions on the comp so far?
Oh, it's amazing. It's always a good time out here. This is my 4th time here. SDL's been with the challenge since way back in the Green River days, but I'm enjoying what we're seeing. We've had some wonderful launches today and yesterday, and we're super excited about the payload results.
Yeah, awesome, and we're grateful to have you here. Tell us a little bit about some of the payloads you've seen. Are there any standouts?
Sure, there's always some standouts. I don't want to divulge too much of our inside jockeying, but we've seen everything from flight dynamics, right? There's payloads that are doing extra measurements of flight dynamics or special ways like gyroscopes to measure the way that the rocket is performing on top of what the avionics might be doing. There's robotics payloads that are landing and launching rovers into the desert to do various tasks. There are 3D printers being launched. Some of these we've seen years before, and they've done several improvements to make them better and do different things with them. So very exciting payloads.
Yeah, amazing. And are there any rule changes for those who have been here for maybe 4 years or more?
We changed a little bit on the weight, right? I think we cut the weight in half, this year. On the mass.
Yeah, and has that driven a change in the kinds of payloads you're seeing?
I don't think it's driven much of a change in the kinds. They're still struggling sometimes to meet weight, so I see some flying some ballast or trying to add some or do what they can to get there. It's easier though. They're definitely able to get to the weight they need to do and still have a functional payload that does exciting things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of hot out there. How are you surviving in the heat?
It's very warm. We got wonderful tents, so we're doing okay over there. The breeze would be nice in the tent. We talked about maybe a swamp cooler next year. Steve was by talking to us. It's beautiful in here. I could stay in here and interview with you all day. It'd be great.
Yeah. And so have you seen every payload in the competition so far?
We have seen most every payload. There's probably about 15 maybe or so that have not checked in with us. There's less than that, maybe 10 or so that are registered for the payload challenge, but we've not seen. So I'm hoping if you guys are out there listening, make sure you come in and check with us if you have not been in to check on us.
Absolutely. We want to get you those payload points, and we also want to get you that.
So another quick update. The best rocket is on pad Alpha 3. So it will be probably the third one to be launched in the next batch. The guys are still completing the checklist, so it will be at least 20 minutes, maybe not as long as I was saying before, because it will be probably the third launch of this next batch. But it's gonna be around 30 minutes to launch probably, because they have to come back from the launch pads, and then they launch. Hopefully it will be the third ones.
And sometimes they come back mangled, sometimes they're a box of parts. So that's very challenging for them to build something small enough and compact enough to fit in that CubeSat format that is also strong enough and structurally able to withstand the G-forces of rocket launch and then impact sometimes of hitting the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that's been challenging us in launch operations is these deployable payloads. We're seeing more and more of those. Yes. How many deployables do you think we've seen this year?
There's probably about 20%. 20% are actual deployable payloads. Do they cause issues in launch operations?
I mean, they challenge me a little bit.
Something else to track.
Yeah, exactly. We need to have eyes there and eyes there and eyes there. And it's challenging for the teams as well, because if they're deploying them at apogee, our requirements this year mean that they need to have not only a main parachute, we want them to have a full dual deployment system.
Sure.
So that's yet another set of redundant systems that they need to have.
So some of these deployables are really cool. Fly around the rocket with a camera trying to track the rocket descent to the ground.
Okay, how do they achieve orbiting the rocket like that?
So the rocket and the payload communicate with each other, their position, and then they do some calculations, and then they can control a parachute and pretty cool thing. The team that was doing that, one of the teams that was doing that, their payload ejected a little bit low, so it was difficult for them. They wanted the payload higher than the rocket, so it couldn't keep up in that descent. But nominal flight, good deployment.
And it still controlled the payload and had a
controlled flight. It controlled the payload, had a good controlled flight, just ejected a little bit low. We have yet to see the video. I haven't checked my email, so if you guys sent me video, I haven't checked my email yet.
Make sure that video comes to us too in the live stream.
Yeah, we'll send it to you for sure.
Absolutely. I think we're going to cross now to Brahm, who's got another one of our supporters with Blue Origin. Brahm, to you.
Hi everyone, glad to be back here on the stream and with special guest
Raleigh Salazar from Blue Origin.
Yeah, my employer. It's actually kind of amazing to be out here since I was a Rocketeer at one point. Seeing you guys, you've been a long time sponsor.
Absolutely. We love the Irec competition. We love supporting the students out here actually launching rockets. So
yeah, it's great to see, and I imagine it's great for you guys to talk with students. They get to see you guys out here, know what their future's about or possible futures is about. What have you loved so far about being out here? Beyond just seeing lots of cool rockets going up.
Yeah, I love seeing the enthusiasm and the passion for rocketry, for engineering, for ingenuity from the students. It really brings me back to when I was in college studying engineering, and then seeing it still progressing to current generations and students that love rocketry, love engineering, and love just building things and setting them on fire and seeing how far they go.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, so for maybe some of our viewers who, while might know a lot about our event, and I know what I know about Blue Origin, could you tell us a little bit more about Blue and why even come out here?
Yeah.
What's so special about this for Blue?
Yeah, absolutely. So we focus on building, developing, designing, and then ultimately operating our own spaceflight vehicles, right? So here locally in Texas, just down the road, I'm actually headed to our launch site one a little later today. We launch and operate New Shepard, so a suborbital vehicle capable of carrying people and payloads to the Kármán line. Fully reusable, fully autonomous, really changing who space is for. And then at the earlier part of this year, back in January, we launched our orbital vehicle, New Glenn. It's basically like lifting a 31-story building into space. We affectionately call it our space truck because anything and everything to space. Right?
It was an amazing launch. I got to be down there. Down in OLS and got to work on the engines for New Glenn, the BE4 engines. And I know my buddy who's been on the stream also, Matt Ryan, loved the launch. There was a lot of people out there on the beach getting to see that beautiful night launch, getting to see those beautiful 7 BE4 engines light up the night sky down in Cape Canaveral. But I imagine for a lot of the students here, that's kind of their dream, to go and work on AtBlue or companies like that, to go work on larger and faster rockets that go higher and faster. How do you feel about the enthusiasm about students coming out here to you guys?
This is definitely one of my favorite competitions to come to. This is my 4th or maybe 5th year in a row coming out to a combination of Las Cruces and then also here in where are we? Pecos, Sarasota,
Saragossa.
Yeah. But out in the desert launching rockets, right? And so that's one of my favorite things to do, is to just be around the students, right? I come from an engineering background, and I moved into university recruiting about 5 years ago. And the driver behind that was to, really connect from a technical perspective, and then also help drive future growth and career opportunities for young students to come to Blue. Specifically to Blue. That's why I do the recruiting at Blue, right?
Of course, yeah. And I know, as a student competitor at one point, coming to this competition was so much for me. It was not only just coming out here to launch a big rocket, but also just to meet with my peers, meet with recruiters, talk with others to what's next for me. Was really important for me to continue out my career, and I'm glad that I'm now at Blue. It's been a lot of fun, and I know a lot of the student teams here, they're looking forward to when they graduate, they come out, get to work on some even more crazy projects. But I'm wondering, a lot of the student teams here are international, and they're working on also just different projects. Yeah. How do you view the teams that might not be able to in the U.S. or might not be working exactly on rockets? How do you talk with them?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a common question that we get specifically in this industry, right? Is we're regulated by ITAR. And so in order to work on our projects, you have to be identified as a U.S. person, right? And that's typically misconstrued as a U.S. citizen only. And I'm here to debunk that, right? So it's U.S. citizen, current green card holder, so legal permanent resident, and those that have that documentation supporting legal asylum or refugee status, right? And at Blue, we actually have a large number of internationally born individuals that work there at Blue. And generally, they've gone and gotten sponsored by a different industry, different company, and gained some really good hands-on engineering experience and brought that to Blue. There's plenty of things that you can learn from different industries like automotive that you can bring into private space, right? Private space, we build one.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 472212.
I'm wondering if you talk a little bit more about the science that, especially since we have a payload challenge where a lot of teams are working on some pretty amazing payloads if you've gotten the chance to see them.
Yep, absolutely.
If you could talk more about some of the Blue's science endeavors that we're doing.
Yeah, so one of the main things that I always like to highlight is additive manufacturing. So we not only focus on progressing additive manufacturing for our needs, but from an industry perspective as well. We have some great one-of-one machines that you only find at Blue Origin that's printing our stuff. I can't get too in-depth to it. I might get in a little bit of trouble from our legal and IP department, right? But outside of that, you think about materials, right? Doing a lot of material studies for advancements for materials we can use in space. We talk about Blue Alchemist, right? So this is taking lunar regolith and actually 3D printing solar cells out of it. So taking something that's not of our planet, granted we're surrounded by all this earth dust right now, but looking at moon dust, right, and figuring out how can we make that progressive and productive for us as humans, right? Then you think about different propulsion techniques, right? Different fuels that we can utilize, right? So focusing on hydrolocks for our 3 main engines, and then doing an LNG liquid oxygen for BE4. We need a little bit more thrust, right? And then focus on, chemical, electric propulsion. that we'll have on Blue Ring. You think of changing space from a like engineering perspective for humans that actually exist in space permanently, right? What do we need? So that leads to innovation, that leads to study and research, that leads to different payloads. And then, case in point, we have the Blue Ring Pathfinder orbiting us right now. So
Yeah. We have something in space right now, which is pretty cool. That's pretty amazing that we got that on the first try.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of the teams here will be pretty envious of coming out here their first time and being really successful just like that.
Yeah. So I'm going to flip it to you, Ram. So what kind of skills did you get from this competition that have made you wholly and totally successful at Blue?
Well, I think like our chief executive officer, Steve, said, this is really to give us hands-on experience. Our president, to give us hands-on experience here. And, coming out here, you go to school, you learn a lot how to problem solve, but it isn't until you apply it that you can figure out, what the skills you need, if it's machining, it's manufacturing, or it's computer programming, or just taking a real-world problem and going at it a different way.
Gotcha.
And out-of-the-box thinking was really critical for me coming out of this to this competition, because there's no textbook that you could just look at and say,
know how to build a rocket.
Yeah. Here's the rocket you need to build that's going to win you this competition with the tools you have available.
Yep.
That's everyone's different scenario. And so coming out here to learn how to do that was really terrific for me, because I learned a ton of skills that got me to working at Blue, learning how to work on engine systems, learning how to manufacture parts, what different manufacturing things are out there, how to lead with a team, how to work with other people. That's a big thing a lot of engineers.
How to work with other people successfully, right?
Yeah. That's one of those things. It's one of those things that you don't think about till you're end of college and you're looking at a job and you start talking with people. You're like, I've only worked by myself on my homework and these little projects. I don't really know how to talk to other people. And then you're like,
Yep, exactly.
So
you gain some great skills, right?
You gain some great hard skills, soft skills, and it was really terrific. And so this event, that's what it gives you. And I know it's just a great pathway for people who want to join in aerospace in a lot of different fields, not just like building engines or aerostructures. There's so many science fields out here, and I'm sure everyone at Blue would say we have so many different people at Blue working on so many different things. They'd agree that you get a lot of experiences by being out here. So it sounds like we're getting ready either for the next launch, or I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going to pass it back to the guys in the studio. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, we're now checking in with some teams at the pads. It looks like solid salvo has been sent out and teams are on ladders arming their rockets. We were talking about that process of getting up close and personal with the rocket. I did hear some news from a team, and I'm hoping they return to the area. As you cut back to me, so student teams are back out at the pads. That means we're going to be seeing more rockets flying, but I'm going to be joined by another group of one of my personal favorites. I'm not a judge, so I can say that.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 472212.
Back in Melbourne?
Yeah.
That's what they heard. But tell us what actually did happen.
Yeah, well, Yeah, so we had the ignition countdown. We went for ignition. We sort of have a slow actuation to open our main valve, and so maybe the ignition smoke got mixed up for some off-nominal case, but no, we had a perfect ignition, and our initial apogee from our sort of live telemetry shows we got pretty close, so we're super wrapped, just really proud of everyone.
That's super exciting. I'm sure your families and friends back home are quite relieved to hear that the rocket didn't in fact KTO, and
we
it was
got a lot of panicked messages after the live stream.
Yeah.
But we did tell them that everything went well. So.
Well, that's exciting news to be able to. Hopefully, you didn't tell them already. This is a breaking news for them. But if it's not, just wanted to. There we go. Team 703, Monash University, with a successful flight, not a KTO. I like to see some action as the live stream director, but not from one of my favorite teams, because I know how it feels to blow up a rocket, and I'm glad you guys aren't on the other side of that. Well, thanks for coming out and updating. Do you guys have anything else to share? Like, what are you guys up to for the rest of the week after a successful? Just chat. If anyone's confused, Monash University had a successful launch. After a successful launch, what are the plans?
I think we're going to plan on come back, support the rest of the Australian teams, the rest of the hybrid teams. We were the first hybrid to launch, so obviously there's a lot more to come. We want everyone to get up. So fingers crossed for everyone there.
Awesome. That is definitely the spirit that you guys have always brought to the competition. Always out here to support. And whether it's tear down or just showing up for your other Australian teams, it's a wonderful team spirit you guys have. So we look forward to seeing you guys back out here at the launch site. Any other things you guys are looking forward to? Maybe
I'm just super proud of the team first and foremost. Just an amazing achievement to be the first Australian team to fly hybrid at a competition level, and then really keen to see a few more get up this weekend. But I think we're all keen to go to Texas Roadhouse and get some ribs. We're really embracing the American spirit.
Yeah. That's actually what I was wondering about. I know Macca's is what you guys call it back in Australia. It's pretty American, but Texas Roadhouse is really leaning in. Where is there a Texas Roadhouse in Midland? Or
we'll find it.
I didn't actually know they had Texas Roadhouses in Texas. But
maybe there's not. We haven't actually looked into it.
It's just like the Texas spirit. Yeah. Oklahoma. Well, that's awesome. I'm sure there are plenty, iconic Texas things you can spend the rest of your week doing and not worrying about. Whether or not the tanky's gonna press or whatnot.
It'll be a good sleep tonight.
I'm getting word from my producer. There's in case you're looking for the local Texas Roadhouse, there's one in Odessa.
Oh,
so
that's where we're staying.
They chose it. They actually chose to stay in Odessa and not Midland or Pecos because of the Texas Roadhouse, isn't that right? I think the Blooming Onion. The Blooming Onion's a big hit there.
It's the driving decision.
So let's see some love in the chat for Monash University and their successful flight. Thank you guys for clarifying, setting the record straight, and we're really sorry that we scared your mom and dad and your friends back home. And hopefully we can get some of that the footage you guys have of your flight on the stream to give you guys the credit where it's due. All right, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, all right, let's for having us.
Yeah, of course. Let's check in with some footage at the pads to see what's going on out there. All right.
Thank you.
It looks like we've got teams loading their rocket onto rails. Yeah, and we've got team 133, and they will be launching in the next salvo. And let's see who else we have out there. We've got team 212 getting ready to launch, and you see a bunch of folks who are wearing blue. Those are Ezra volunteers who are supporting our pad operations. They're not just your ordinary blue shirt like myself. If you zoom in really close to my shirt, well, it says L1. Yeah, there we go. L1 TRA NR. That's the Tripoli Rocket Association, National Association of Rocketry, the certification organizations.
that help support this event. Some schmuck like myself wouldn't be operating down there because of my my meager certification. So the folks out at the pads have a lot of experience getting high power rockets, and they support all of the launch activities. They are wonderful. Actually, earlier today you saw Isaac, as they say, Isaac Sims, who is the director of launch operations, helping to make sure that everything moves.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 472212.
Maybe I don't know who's behind the switcher right now, because Logan Herrera, the director of media, just stepped out, and oh, I did see a camera change, so it means somebody's in there. And let's see, Logan, let's get you a proper mic. It's gonna be all bamboozled now because I just
Here we
switched
go.
them around.
I'm ready.
Let's see. All right, and we're back to the commentator booth shot, and I'm joined by Logan Herrera, as I just mentioned, but now you get to see his face. Logan is the director of media, PR, live stream, and I'm hearing there's a lot of love for the world-renowned rocket commentators, myself
Exactly.
and Logan.
The dynamic duo is back. We had a great run last year, and we're here again to give the people what they want on the live stream.
So, Chad, if we can see some dubs for the live stream team, that would be, greatly appreciated. Also, some dubs for Team Monash and L for our prior performance at not properly capturing their performance. So, Ethan L, thanks for letting us know that whoever else was they were lying about the audio. It's always good to see some feedback about our live stream, and the chat keeps us honest.
All right, we are back with
Hi,
some
guys.
updates. First of all, thank you to the guy who was giving free Gatorade. And then, yeah, we have some updates. I think, is this us? No, it's not us.
No, it's not us.
But the rocket is on the pad, is on the launch rail, so it's ready to go. Everything is turned on. We are connecting everything to the ground station, which is basically right there, a few meters ahead of us. And yeah, Nicola.
Yeah, judges are asking us the last thing. All the guys in the rail did all they need to do. Now we are pretty ready to launch. We incurring some problems with the GPS because we are a lot here, and a lot of us need to recover the rocket. So there's a lot of GPS that are on right now, and the frequency.
Yeah, they're limited range of frequencies, so everything is pretty busy, and there is also frequency traffic. So
we are trying to figure it out a solution for this problem. We are trying to change the frequency, find a free one, and after that we are pretty much okay to launch. We will move our station here because we need to. We also participate in the live challenge feed. We will try to have the live footage from the rocket. We have a camera inside of it that point outwards. Hopefully it will work. It will start also with this heat, so we'll need to move our station near the Hesra one.
yeah, basically the live stream that you're seeing on the top right, they will need also the video from the rocket in real time. So we will
wait a second, guys.
Split it. And yeah, wait a second. Okay, yeah, there was a sandstorm, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, one of the judges came over and basically, since we have to send our real-time rocket video to the official live stream, we will have to move. But we cannot do this right now because there are other teams before us. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit complicated to do it
Yeah, and they also
very quickly.
want to be sure that we have our GPS locked up because before we can move it there, because there are a lot of teams now and a lot of them want to do the live streaming challenge too. So we will see how everything will work out. Let's hope that we don't incur in any other problems.
Yeah, and one of the mission control guys said that they should be back here, the teams, in 10 to 15 minutes. So if they're actually back in 10 minutes here, then I guess we can launch in 15 minutes to 20 minutes. And yeah. Hopefully everything is all right at the ground
Maybe
station.
Andrea here have some
We are
other
live.
news.
Do you have any updates, quick updates? Not great news.
Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone. We have some updates. The guys are on the launch trail, but we're having issues with the COTS GPS tracker. So the one that is compulsory for all the teams. And since so many teams are here today, there are some frequency conflicts, and we're struggling to get a good frequency. And so the guys on the ramp are initiating the disarm operations. So they are actually looking at the disarming checklist, and they will get the rocket off the rail, and we will try to solve these GPS issues, also working with mission control, and hopefully come back today or tomorrow morning maybe. We have a positive feed from our boards, so we are getting the GPS location and all the data from our Marconi board, but the COTS board is having issues. So it's not basically related to something we've done wrong. It's just that since we have so many rockets on the pad, the software, the COTS software, commercial software, isn't capable of managing it, and we're not going to solve this issue quickly. So we have to scrap the launch.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Jesus. That's well, pretty shocking news.
Yeah.
Because we were looking at a launch in 20 minutes. So basically, the things which are mandatory in the rocket and which are commercial and tested, they are not working because the frequencies are all booked.
Yeah. Basically, there are too many teams on the frequencies that GPS is able to work on. And honestly, that's not totally a bad news since the wind is picking up, and we've seen some vortexes, some little sand storms, sand tornadoes, and it's very windy now out here. So maybe a safe thing to do.
Yeah, but I mean, it's always hard to scrap a launch.
Yeah, it's always hard since we all only have tomorrow left to get some points. And I remind you that yesterday we could not launch, not just because of the problems with the motor, but also because it was an invitational day. So basically only small rockets, 20 of them, were invited to launch here in Midland, and we were forced to stay home. Nothing to do with that, and it seems like today again we have to scrap for problems that are not really related to our rocket.
Forgive you, Andrea, guys. We were like 60 teams today that have or could have launched. So 60 GPS that are probably working, and probably that's the main reason. It's something that it's easy to explain. We cannot avoid it because also when it depends on how fast the other teams can recover their rocket and disarm it. We are trying everything we can.
And but the GPS is locked. So the GPS is the one in featherweight, which has no frequency.
We have our SRAD GPS working.
GPS is not able to communicate properly because there's a frequency
Okay, but our own one is connected.
Yes.
Okay.
Our shows good data. I was at my PC looking at the data from the Marconi board in the avionics bay. We are locking it with omnidirectional antenna, and we had positive lock. The GPS coordinates that I was getting were good. Also, all the data from the Da Vinci seemed correct, accelerations, temperatures, everything. So all our SRAD boards were working properly. The GPS, the commercial one, was actually working, but it's a frequency conflict, not a malfunction. That's the good news, let's say, since we can come back as soon as we can with while we fix this frequency conflict that should not be a big problem to solve.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. Yeah, so that's not what we wanted to hear.
No,
Also
definitely.
because it was the last thing you could think of. That the things which we bought and we were forced to use to launch
Yeah,
are not working.
and if you think about it, all the things that we are forced to buy
Yeah.
had some problems.
Yeah.
The motors, the COTS GPS, everything that is made by us,
Yeah.
it's working fine.
I mean, the point is we have our own GPS, which is working, but the judges, I mean, the competition wants a backup, a commercial backup.
Yeah, also
So-
because they want a COTS GPS and a COTS board, because then we can have like all the same thing, and we can compare the results of all the teams, and basically.
Oh, yeah, for the scoring, for the
for the
points.
scoring, we are fair. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a right thing to do, but when it come up like this,
Yeah.
it's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's really a shame. So we're gonna break right now, and we will talk with the other guys. Maybe we will talk a bit of the problems. I mean, Andrea explained it pretty well. Maybe we can explain it further. But yeah, it is the most likely scenario is that we will see each other tomorrow morning.
Yeah. I mean, for us, if we think positive, if we would think positive in this situation. We need to think positive in this situation. Now the weather were very windy. We were scared for the wind gust. So maybe this is
You're looking at the bright side.
Yeah,
positive
yeah.
side.
I'm trying to look at the bright
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, it was a shame because we were ready. I mean, from the early morning to launch, we were just waiting, and then this happened. So yeah,
So-
thank you for joining anyway, and hopefully we can do another live stream tomorrow
Yeah.
for the planned launch. Thanks.
See you.
Out at the solids pad, and their team is heading back, getting ready. You know, this is great coverage of the competition, but I think my dating life is really keeping Chad captivated. So Sailor, Serena, I just don't believe you here. You're gonna have to try harder. You know, good things are worth fighting for. That's what they say. But this road, Logan, talk to me about this road.
Oh, this is a beautiful road. You can get going pretty shockingly fast on that road too.
I don't. So we've got some. It looks like maybe the pad
it
manager
looks really
is
fresh and new.
fresh and new. Yeah, thanks to our land partner here, Landbridge, who's graciously allowing us to operate on this piece of land. We were able to cut and put down this whole new pad was recently cleared, and that road there was much brush out here, but now we can safely drive a rocket
shot really
trailer
shows
with
the before and after.
some people in the back. Yeah, so the left and right side of the road is sort of what the site looked like. And if anybody has been out here in the desert walking through the mesquite, you know it's not super favorable on your tires. Our president and RSO took a big L on their cars about 2 weeks ago. They popped them some tires, and let me tell you, it is you don't want to be out here in Saragossa needing to replace 2 tires. So that's why we make sure our recovery teams go out together, just to make sure that you're safe and you have a buddy, because if your tires blow out, you need a buddy to go back to Fort Stockton, and that is indeed what happened before we had this pad cleared. Nice shot here.
And who made the road, Matt?
We partnered with a local earthworks provider to make that happen on a really short notice, and so we're grateful to have them as a sort of a vendor and to work with us. We're not, you might realize from this beautiful shot, well actually this shot is a beautiful one of the Davis Mountains here in the background, and the Davis Mountains are sort of the end of the Delaware Basin, which is an active oil and gas field, which you don't see in this shot a whole lot of. Well, maybe there in the top left corner you see some oil and gas equipment, but a rocket competition is not the normal activity, not the normal customer for an earthworks contractor. So they were very flexible to work with us, which was certainly appreciated. We just had a super chat from Isabella Maria Mendez Lopez asking, could you please replay Team 316's launch? Isabella Maria Mendez Lopez, I will see if our control room replay operator could get that for you, but it's a bit of a hit or miss.
I think that was one of the first 2 launches of the day.
That's right. That's right. And chat and families back home, whether you're in Argentina or wherever you are in the world, we do our best to get the stream out as early as possible and get as complete coverage, but there's some rough edges in the morning, and this morning we had some networking problems. Logan, do you want to talk about how the networking situation works out here in the desert?
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 472212.
That you are ready to operate, and we might be putting a plan together on how to configure our network next year with Starlinks, but so far I think the stream has been pretty steady. Previously we had a microwave backhaul to get you this footage to fiber, but now we're just doing all over Starlink so that we can see these awesome drone shots with the teams who, it looks like we no longer have any students out at their rocket. So all the rockets are armed and vertical. The pad managers are driving away in their trucks. The trucks are the standard issued equipment out here in the oil field. So we're trying to blend in with our launch operations. And so it looks like we've got a full...
Other vehicles are capable of getting down Elise Road. On my very first visit out here, checking out the site, back when we were doing site selection and figuring out where we would go, I drove a Prius.
I think, Logan, you might have been the only Prius driver in the past month to have been out here on some of these roads.
It was a very economical rental car choice, and I did get to my destination. But it was certainly not a vehicle optimized for this terrain.
We just got a super chat from the Rocket Club at UAB. Thank you for that. Cheering for our friends, the LRU Aero Bears, Team 133. Thank you for that, Rocket Club at UAB.
we love to see when folks are out there supporting their teams and they're
supporting each other.
That's a big part of what we think makes Irec special. I know that's what for me when I was a competitor. The nature of the competition is very supportive and collaborative. That teams really come together and try to work through any problems and also learn from each other. That's what we hope to accomplish with the technical sessions, the poster sessions, that is, as an opportunity to learn from each other. Folks are coming in from solids, is that right, Logan?
That's what I'm seeing on the screen here. We're seeing the caravan. I think our drone operators are now well qualified to make some automotive advertisements. Comes with the territory. We've got a lot of interesting vehicles out here.
Yes, that's right. The more time I spend out here in the Permian Basin, the more I learn about the industry and what it takes to accomplish the feats of drilling pipelines 6 miles into the ground. And there's certainly specialized equipment, no doubt. I think some of our pieces of specialized equipment are pretty solid, like the rocket hauling tractor or the trailer.
The trailer.
Yes. And I don't see the rocket trailer out there right now.
The launch pads that ProtoCase helped us with.
Right. That is, yeah. That they thanks to our sponsor ProtoCase for making the 2-stage pads, as Steve likes to call them, the best.
The next generation high-powered rocketry pad.
Gotcha. I was trying to.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, get in here, Steve. We'll make space. If you're just tuning in now, this is Steve Taylor. Steve is the president of the Experimental Sounding Rocket Association, who we all.
Easy.
I don't know what you thought I was going to say, Steve, but we're glad to have you out here now.
Well, it's funny. You were, as you were talking about the land and the what's going on out here in terms of the oil. There's 2 people that have been instrumental in this.
Certainly.
And Landbridge as a company saw this as an opportunity to give back, saw an opportunity to help build this industry, the aerospace industry, here in the Permian Basin.
Yep.
Which you don't think of the Permian Basin as a hotbed of aerospace, but it actually is. It's actually becoming that. So that's a real big driver for this area right now. And Landbridge, I can't thank them enough. The other folks that were here was Norman from Dirtworks?
Yep, yeah, so Gerald and Norman.
Norman,
anyway. Gerald Unruh, from the Mountain View Dirtworks, a local earthworks contractor.
In fact, local, his home is near here, right?
So he was saying that he could actually hear the rockets from his house.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I said, could you see him? He goes, no, I couldn't see him, but I could hear him, And he's here with his family.
Oh, no way.
So he's brought his wife, his daughter, and the grandchildren.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, this is, he couldn't be more happy, and he also made a big contribution, honestly, in getting this work done, fast, and helping to support this by doing it in a scope that we can manage. So it was an interesting discussion, but let's get back to rockets.
Yeah. Well, I think none of us are oil and gas folks, so having partners that are flexible to work with us, whether we don't really know how business is done out here, so that flexibility and understanding really goes a long way as we become part of the local ecosystem, hopefully for years to come.
Well, I feel it.
Yeah,
I feel it. I mean, I honestly believe that they've adopted us, and and it's up to us to make sure that we help them with their mission, and that as they're looking to give back to the community, we're here to help the community give back to that infrastructure, that community. So
definitely, I would love to see a permanent installation of Hoppy's Hotel out here.
Yeah, well,
maybe it could be an Airbnb, a year-round Airbnb or something.
Yeah, well, you'd really have to be motivated to come out here if you wanted to, but
That's right.
Well, there's rockets going. Yeah, it's been great.
All right, yeah, let's check back in with some shots from the pad if that's possible. I think we've got maybe drones or a nice PTZ zoom. So I think we've got a whole salvo of rockets ready to go. I think we're going to start hearing some radio chatter from the LCO pretty soon as teams clear out of the area. Steve, how are we looking as far as it goes as launch cadence? I know you were the former launch control officer.
Well, I'm each year it gets better and better.
Yeah.
This year, and so you fix one problem and another one pops up, right?
Tell me about it. Yeah.
So here we fixed a lot of the mechanics around the launch queue, and now because we're efficient with that, we're seeing that there's so efficient that we have so many rockets that are getting ready to launch that we're having frequency issues where they're stepping on each other's frequencies. So that's the next bug to fix, and then we'll fix the next one after that.
Yeah. Every year we learn something new, and then every year we introduce something new as well.
well, this year was
18 lessons so far.
Yeah.
Oh, you're documenting?
Well, I think it's more than 18. But I just want to shout out some super chats we have who, the local support is wonderful, but it's also great to get super chat support from our viewers back home
and around the world.
Lots of love from our international teams out there.
I've really enjoyed seeing all the currencies too.
I think I'm gonna have to go to YouTube here. Man, Elena Dunn. Here's the money I owe Matt. Thank you. Fly high WPI. Take home another trophy this year. Thanks, Elena Dunn, for the super chat. And we've got another super chat. My graphics software is Sailor Serena, you're a menace in the chat. I feel like I know you, but I don't know you, and you're just trolling me.
Okay, so we are back with Christian.
Hi.
Which was at the launch pad, and he has more updates, more details.
Yeah, as Fabio said, I'm just back from the launch pad. We installed the rocket on the rail. We did all the checks. We turned on all the flight computer, avionics, and so on. We connected all connectors. Everything was fine. We contacted the ground station, which was here, and they said they received a conflict between our GPS, our COTS GPS, and somebody else's. We went before to the guy who was checking all the frequencies and so on. He booked our slot in our frequency, and he told us basically that we were the only one at the moment using that frequency, and then the other teams who would come after us would have to change their frequency if it got in conflict with ours. But somehow probably they didn't, and so we were told to dismount the rocket from the rail, disarm all the electronics, and take it back to the tent to verify the appropriate frequency, and then we'll be the first in line for the next slot. So probably another round of launches, and we'll be right next in line.
Okay, so we are launching today still? We are aiming to launch today?
Eduardo is doing all the checks with the MCC. Looks like we have enough available slots, unless the wind picks up way too hard. So, not sure at the moment, but could possibly be cancelled, yes. We hope not, but there is a possibility.
Okay, thanks. So basically, this entire thing is because of other teams using our frequency.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were given the green light for using that frequency. We were told we were the only one using them, but somehow another team used them. So unfortunately, that's how it works. We were the first one who recognized that conflict, and so unfortunately, we were the ones told to abort the launch and come back later.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, no problem. It's a bit unfortunate, but yeah.
Hopefully we manage. Hopefully the winds remains relatively low. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add something else to that. I just want to give a quick shout out and a quick thank you to Sistema Spedizioni, the company who managed to bring our rocket to the US. We shipped it via flight. We shipped it to Fabio, to LA, so that we then could collect it and bring it with us through the United States to Texas, and we'll ship it back when we're done. So on Monday it will fly back to Italy, and we'll collect it in Politecnico. So thank you again. It was an excellent service, very precise, and we're very happy we went with this company, and also we hope to rely on them for the next future and the next shipments for further and future competitions. So thank you again.
All right, then updates will follow.
We could be doing this all year round, but we wouldn't want to learn too much in a year. Yeah. First up, we will be having Alpha 1. It's Team 150. Logan, can you tell me who Team 150 is? So that's very good. Then we're going to go to Alpha 4 with Team 214.
Clearing this to
214, Texas A&M.
solids. The last salvo tonight will depart solids at about 5 p.m. That will be the final salvo departing from Q. So 5 p.m. from Q. That's the last one tonight.
The mic's still on. Don't.
No, I know. This is a shout out to the volunteers. I mean, the teams want to get it at the pad bank as fast as possible. Our gates open at 5 a.m., which means a lot of people need to be here well before that. And it's a dedicated, hardworking team.
Totally, yeah. It certainly wouldn't help. This event wouldn't happen without the volunteers, and there are too many hardworking volunteers to name. But I hope they do know that their efforts are appreciated, and even if we run long and we start early to make this happen, the agony is all worth it. So if you are watching from the local area, if you're a team who's maybe back home in Midland celebrating or planning to come out tomorrow, I certainly know our volunteers appreciate when they feel appreciated, and that might look like Konya Sarmasis from the Turkish teams, or I think I'm going to have to step away briefly, but I have some of the best, most competent rocket commentators here. Steve's going to get off and be like, Matt, you've never been so flattering to me.
Yeah, I know. This is like, what's going on here? Probably, I'm going to have a microphone to carry around with me.
Yeah. It might turn into I might get demonetized. So, chat, thanks for the super chats for keeping us well paid while we work on our demonetization.
And thank you, Matt. He's running back inside to make the graphics happen. We've got a new commentator who's going to join us now. Here they come. Around the corner. Fabulous. Welcome to the hot seat.
Thank you. It's nice to be back. I've missed you guys since last year.
It's so funny. Now this is called the hot seat, or is that just new for Hannah? I don't know.
Just for me?
Just for you.
All right.
So catch me up. What have you guys been talking about so far? What have you been informing the nice viewers about?
Well, shout outs to both the Land Bridge and the Dirtworks, who the land was graciously allowed us to, the Land Bridge graciously allowed us to use their land for just this sort of an activity, which is the STEM activity which they're trying to foster. And then the Dirtworks were the folks that cleared all this land, because it used to look just like that out there, here. That, and a big shout out to the volunteers and how well that's been going. And now dedicated the team is and how tired the team is, and
you mean me specifically, right,
No,
Steve?
is it? Well,
me specifically.
yeah. So why don't you tell everybody what you were doing for this competition and the fact that you're a former competitor?
Sure. Yeah. So, like Steve said, I am a former competitor. I was a student for Virginia Politecnico Institute. They launched yesterday, so they've already gotten off the pad. Did really well this year. I'm very proud of them.
Oh, that's good. I was going to ask you. So yeah. I knew if they did well, you would say it first. So
of course. And might I say that it's the first completely successfully launched and recovered and quickly recovered rocket that Virginia Tech has had since 2017. So I'm very, very proud of them.
That's awesome.
But yeah, Virginia Tech has competed since 2017. I started on the rocketry team in 2020 when we had the COVID year, so I was a little unfortunate.
yeah.
But anyway, for this competition specifically, or this year, I'm wearing a couple hats like I usually do. This year, I was in charge of trying to manage some of the rocketry vendors coming on site, like Wildman and Irec Rocketry.
You know what's smart? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Eat smart with Factor.
Or a switch that has mysteriously disappeared.
And it's a pretty eclectic group you were trying to get in here, So,
oh yeah.
I mean, that was a challenge, and we really appreciate the work that you put into it. And it's a different breed of animal dealing with our rocketry vendors and sponsors.
Well, I just appreciate the vendors coming out here. They've got an impressive array of rocket. Like motor casings and other rocket supplies out there. So even if you're not a team, that actively needs supplies to get your poor rocket ready for flight, if you just have a burning desire to go buy any rocket components
so
that are
can I
available.
build my rocket from scratch on site with all the parts the vendors have?
I would expect you to, Logan.
And I think
some of your
several
expertise?
university teams have done that in the past. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and of course we're hoping to get more rocketry vendors out here in upcoming years. If there are any rocketry vendors that happen to be watching this live stream right now, please visit the Ezra website and contact me. We'd love to have you out here. And then also, I'd be remiss not to mention the merchandise team, because that's also the other big thing I've been helping out with. Amin and Jorge have been out here this year doing a lot of hard work getting the awesome merch that we've bought this year out to the students. So if you haven't gotten the new flight tag this year or the mission patch, go get them now, because they're selling out really fast. We've already sold out of coins and of red flight tags, so get them while they're hot. They might not stick around until the end of the event.
And also we have the online merch store.
We do have the
Ships
online
anywhere
merch
in
store.
the world.
You helped get that running, right, Logan?
I did. In fact, I still get an email every time anyone places an order. So for the next order that goes through the online merch store, I will let the world know what you ordered.
You can't talk to our viewers.
Yeah.
I didn't say their name or address. I'll say
Shameless?
what they ordered.
And the last thing, just to really give...
You had one more hat, didn't you?
Yes, yes. I was judging this year. I wanted to give Anita a shout out too. Anita is our... Would lead judge be the best title for her?
Competition operations week she goes by, yeah.
Yes, Anita is fantastic. She makes it super easy in order to help judge this competition, and we really need more judges to come out here, because each year we are continuously having more and more students attend that need judging. So also, if there's anybody watching who's interested in coming out and being a judge, there are no minimum requirements, like no previous high-powered rocketry experience required in order to be a judge.
Yep. It's funny. I was just talking to a volunteer from Midland, and as we were as Logan, you've got her involved with live stream. She was also a judge.
Yes, and judging is how I got my start with Ezra volunteering.
Oh, is that right?
It is. There is a remote judging option.
Yeah.
Where, getting close to the event, the teams submit their final technical report, which is responsible for about half of their total score, and that report has to be evaluated against the judging rubric, and that can happen anywhere in the world. So there is a whole group of judges that operates entirely remotely, focusing only on that submission. So that is the lowest scope, no travel possible entry point for you to become an Ezra volunteer.
Did you guys know that Matt was the first judge I ever interacted with at competition? He judged my Virginia Tech team my junior year. Yeah.
What'd you think of him at the time?
He scared me a little bit because he seemed very knowledgeable, and so I was a little bit intimidated.
Yeah.
He was very
funny.
nice.
That's funny. Well, you know, we've gotten several. You know what? The fun thing to see now is that the pull through from the. So you know, it's the Sierra who has pulled through her entire family into this. You know, we actually have a competitor, a current competitor, whose his parents have gotten involved and contribute on a weekly basis, and I've dragged my wife into this, and we dragged our son into this, and so we've got family as well as former competitors, and then there's actually just sort of this groundswell of, wow, this is really cool, you know, I just want to come do it. So and Anita manages that very well. And the other piece of this is that we actually have a large number of international judges this year. We have teams from Turkey, we have folks from Canada and Mexico, and so it's the I has been changed from intercollegiate to international, just to recognize the world's contribution to this event. So yeah, it's all fun. And you know, judging and merch and rocketry vendors. And last year you were part of the registration team, so you seem to be making a full cycle around the Ezra volunteer stack.
I'm doing my best. I love every aspect of this competition. Hopefully, if that's at least a little bit obvious so far.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, if I get lucky enough, you'll let me out on the pads.
Oh yeah.
That helps with some of the rockets there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Erica. Now, if she hears this, you're already booked. I'm just telling you right now. So
maybe I should get my L3 first before I do that.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
What level of cert do you have, Logan?
I have.
You know what's smart? Truffle butter filet mignon without lifting a finger. Eat smart with Factor.
Oh.
In due course. In due course.
Yeah.
Someday, Steve.
Yeah.
Where did you fly your L3?
Actually, out of Balls. Yeah. So.
Nice.
2014. You know, I had. It's one of those. I just found out after having done this as a kid and doing it with my kids that, hey, there's real rocketry available now, and so I went on a few-year course of starting with smallest mid-power, going through my L1, you know, then going to my L2 and doing it. The trick I did was you had to do enough of that particular level to be able to say I'm accomplished enough to move to the next level, and so I did a lot of that stuff. And then when it got time to do my level 3, we were sending a contingent from North Texas out to the Black Rock Desert, and I did mine out at Balls. So it was.
So Steve, was this entire launch site move a conspiracy to get you closer to the North Texas site?
I'd
Be
like
honest
to
with
say
us,
no.
Steve.
I'd like to say no, but no. Honestly, you know, we put out an RFP to multiple sites, and we were. You know, you hear one of our vendors, Protospace, talk about the velocity of change and the velocity of being able to do things. Well, this was the only place that we were able to move this event in a compressed time frame, and we're able to meet a lot of the challenges with a lot of support from the community. So I talk a lot on this thing. You know,
I'm trying to look to see what kind of rockets we got on the pad right now. We just had a salvo that went out, right?
I think they're red. They pulled back. I assume we're going fairly soon.
Nice.
We have your cameras in the information and registration tent.
Sounds like someone lost a camera.
Well, they now
I
know where
lost
to
the
go
phone.
pick it up.
I'm trying to find my phone.
This is coming from our rocket tracking cam. Those operators have been doing a great job giving the audience tracking throughout the entire flight. In many cases, we've been able to go throughout the entire flight and see apogee and all of the events on the way back down. That's a perennial challenge for us and something we're improving year on year to try and give the best
This looks
views
like
of
the
the rocket
10K
flights.
COTS pad?
Well,
Yes.
it's the solid, so they could be 10 or 30K flights here. But Logan, you mentioned the different camera types and the different, you made a significant change this year in the infrastructure. Why don't you give us a little update on that?
Sure. So live stream has a couple different camera types and also operates with some partners that really come together to give you the full production. We have a rocket tracking cam that you're seeing track the rockets throughout the sky. We've got some drones that are flying overhead. That's been in partnership with Dan Shantz and his drone team in the Midland area. They have a strong educational component. They're a nonprofit and have their leaders are out here, but then also the students they work with are out here doing some real drone flying. This is a real mission with a real challenge that they're learning on with their drones. Then we have our interview cameras and our commentator booth cameras that are bringing you the interviews from a couple different angles. Let's see if the control room can demonstrate a couple different angles for you of this. And then we've got some remote cameras out at the pads that NASA Spaceflight has been putting together for us. They are using this as a training opportunity. They are being controlled by operators around the world. One as far away as England, I gather.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And this is the only launch with quite so many large rockets moving so fast with so much infrastructure on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great opportunity for them to train their camera operators. You've also been seeing some slow motion shots of the launches. That's coming from NASA Spaceflight. And it takes a whole crew to run all this. That's why we have live stream team managing all these different camera angles, managing the replay, making sure our interviewees are in the right place at the right time, making sure our commentators are in the right place and the right time, and fed and watered and being given information through their earpieces as best we can. So it is a whole operation here. I'm really proud of the team and the work they've been doing to prepare for this event and to make this the best production possible during the event.
But, so every year it's innovation, and every year the complexity increases, but also the quality of the output increases. And one thing that you've done that you started last year that's starting to, bear fruit right now is the live video challenge that you do and the ingest of the video from the rockets. Why don't you talk about that for a second?
Sure, absolutely. So this is a challenge we created because we have always wanted to see what's going on in the air, but have never been able to. And this is just a tough technical challenge to get video out of a rocket while it's flying. And there's not really a good solution that everyone has converged on. So seeing that opportunity, we created the Live Rocket Video Challenge. Teams have to downlink video from their rocket or present telemetry data from their rocket. They can do either approach. That telemetry data is targeted at hybrid teams because of their complex fill process. And connecting it into the live stream, and we bring it to you live just as often as we can, and then they submit by midnight on Friday a 30-second clip of their downlinked video. And between seeing it come in live and looking at the clip after the fact, we judge that and come up with the best Live Rocket Video Challenge. And we have seen a huge improvement, a huge increase in sophistication this year compared to last year. Last year we had a very small number of valid entries that actually complied with the rules. And of those entries, the best one was analog video on the ground at the pad only. And that was Texas A&M. And I am so glad that they took up the challenge and delivered something quickly in the first year, and I commend them for that. And I think teams saw that and decided that they wanted to go further and to do better and move beyond and raise the bar. And that's exactly what our challenges are for. And you've seen some great onboard video at various times throughout the week. And it's going to be it's going to be tough to figure out who the best team is for the purposes of this award.
Have you seen any particularly good shots so far that are your favorites?
I've seen a couple strong ones. I'm not in the control room looking at them all the time. So that's why we have the submission, because we can't quite study it live with every single person reviewing. So that's why we have the submission after the fact to enable robust judging. but I've seen some strong stuff that I'm excited about for this year.
I see how you have cleverly danced around naming any teams in particular.
Well, exactly. I judge the award.
You can't be shown any favoritism so far.
But part of you're telling a story, and you're providing that infrastructure to tell the story. And
exactly.
If there's 2,000 students here, but there's another 5,000 students that's around the world that need to hear the story, that need to see the fruit of their labor. That really you give them an opportunity to feel like they're here and supporting their team sort of electronically, but you're providing that opportunity, and that's exciting to me. It's storytelling. It's making sure that they can share in their team success. And so, I commend you for the work. And every year it gets better and better, bigger and bigger, and soon we're going to have the full movie crew in here, I'm sure, at some point. So that.
Oh yes. We always make those decisions about what the right scope is for the event, but that is really how we think about it. We do storytelling on Media Team.
Did you guys see that big dust devil that was on the screen?
I see that.
Yep. We're in a dusty area, and there's a little bit of wind right now. So yeah.
I was about to say, it reminds me of New Mexico.
Well, the environments are very similar.
And I'm glad those teams have been putting robust rail buttons on their rockets.
Oh yeah. We've gotten our fair share of wind over at the merch table too. I think I've gotten my steps in today just from chasing around stickers that have been started flying around the launch area.
We have seen rockets break before on the pad from a dust devil hitting them.
Really?
We have. We've seen them fall off the pad before.
We actually had one year a dust devil hit a hybrid rocket that actually took down the whole tower.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What year was that, Steve?
I think that was 19-ish, maybe.
Okay. So slightly before my time.
I think it was 19-ish. Yeah. But
well, and I think that's something that the mentors try to remind the teams is that oftentimes transporting the rocket or being on the pad and being hit by wind is a much larger load, much more force than anything the rockets will encounter in flight. And having a successful rocket means thinking holistically about everything that will happen to it, not just the flying part.
Yes, that reminds me of originally when my team first started coming out here, when I was involved, we had a few issues of systems we had put out there that weren't externally armed, and so we had problems of integrating the rocket. The battery's already plugged in, and then by the time we get out into the pad, they're dead, especially in the heat.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's always a very important lesson for teams to learn out here that this environment is hot. You might be in line for a while, your rocket might be up there for a while, and so it's important to test those systems beforehand so that you understand how long they can actually last before getting them out onto the pad.
Absolutely, and I think one of the themes I'm seeing from the Live Rocket Video Challenge is a lot of teams seem to have thermal limitations on the system.
Really?
Where one of the hardest parts about it is making sure that your complex bit of electronics does not overheat in the desert sun.
It is hot out here. Reminder, drink water.
And actually drink water and have electrolytes, because something that I've just learned that I did not know is you could overhydrate. And
you can overhydrate.
Yeah, which I didn't know.
Have we
that
ever
possible.
had an overhydration at the event?
Twice.
Really?
Yes. The same individual.
Oh.
So
wow.
You have to work in electrolytes, a Gatorade, or there's 1,000 different versions of it, but it's a not necessarily a 1-to-1, but you got to work an electrolyte drink in when you're out here. I didn't know it either. So yeah, we've had 2.
Wow. You know what? I'll be honest, I wasn't really thinking about that this year.
Well, it works both ways, and we also had...
You know what's smart? Dinner on autopilot. Eat smart with Factor.
You need to drink your water, or you're going to have to see Bobby, and it's not going to be at your best.
Bobby.
It's funny. You don't have to. We have sponsors that are not rocket related. We have and I love those not the best. I love those equally as because they're here just to support the STEM environment and the engineering competition, and building a aerospace workforce. So I have to come back to that just because it's kind of our theme. It's kind of that's our mantra. This is what we're here to do. So
my Virginia Tech rocketry team tried to get sponsored by a coffee company one time.
Oh, because of the amount of hours you put in?
Yeah.
Did you succeed?
I think they turned us down, but said good luck with our rocket. So if any coffee companies are interested either, we'll have you too.
I guess that's kind of what I was saying. Yeah, you don't have to be an aerospace company to. Well, we had Sam's Club come out and sponsor a cookie and water thing out out in Midland.
Right.
So
we have been waiting
a lot of different types of
because
sponsors.
we've had some vehicles in our exclusion zones. We have finally cleared them out of the zones. We have one more thing to get people out that are on foot, but that should be no more than 2 minutes. And so we are about to proceed to launching at the solids, starting with Alpha 1. So
I'm going to ask this
everybody,
question because I don't know the answer
back
to
out
it.
from under the tents,
Is
get
what
your
the
eyes in
LCO
the air,
saying being
your eyes on
broadcast
the
as part of the
pad.
live stream?
We are imminent for launch.
Oh, so when we stop,
We are
it
imminent
kind of
for
looks a little
launch.
funny as we're listening?
Yes, well, it comes into some microphones.
Okay. They were just saying that there's some people out on recovery that are in our safety zone, and they have to get out before we're able to launch. And so we're forever looking at that to try to get people out. So don't leave me. Don't leave me. Oh gosh.
Being left by Logan.
He left us, man. He just flat left us.
Didn't even say goodbye.
But so at any rate, this is the first time I'm actually doing this during a launch part.
Really?
Yeah, I backed out of it last time because I felt like
All right, we're making a slight change.
we had
We're
two
going to go with the 30K first. Oh.
almost saying the same thing, and I said, well, the fact that I don't have my my phone with me means I can't get distracted and pulled away. So.
Well, let's look at what we have out there right now, because I think that they're about to start launching, and I see students kind of nervously running up to the spectator area, which usually means that they're about to start getting some rockets
Yeah, which
off.
is actually awesome. All right, Rick.
Nice.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah.
And that means I can do a Logan goodbye.
You can do a goodbye.
Yeah.
So what's the first shot up, 150 or 145?
Well, I think they've been, Alpha 1 is 150.
Okay,
And
150 is the Seoul National University. They're from Seoul, Korea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely city.
The teams are taking pictures of their inspector
Okay,
area.
we have everything sorted. I apologize for the
beside us
confusion. We are going to
anxiously
Alpha
waiting.
1. Alpha 1.
Here, let's stand up and have a look at it.
Alpha 1. This is a 10K.
We're launching off of Alpha 1 right
We have
now,
a
10K
deployable
COTS.
payload.
Alpha
This is
1's
Seoul
one out there.
National University.
Seoul National
Team
University.
150, and this
This
project is
will actually be the first one I've seen on
expected
that
to
stream.
fly to 33,043 meters, and it's an M3400 White Thunder. We have a green
Ooh, that'll be
light.
nice.
I like that motor.
White Thunder.
Yeah, I like the White Thunder motors, yeah.
We'll have to look at the color of the plume.
5, 4,
Should be
3, 2, 1. Lift
All
off.
right, there she goes.
Nice.
Okay, it's burnout was good.
For an event.
It's not apogee yet.
Next up,
It's arcing
Alpha
over.
5. Next up, Alpha 5.
Coming down.
Soul's coming down.
I think we had was that an event? No, I don't think so. I think we've had the drogue come out because it seems
You see an
to have
event on that?
slowed.
All right, it looks like we
Slow
potentially
down.
got a drogue event on Team 150 that just
Moving